Everyone who has seen a dragon knows dragons in their youth are extremely similar to lizards. Yet, I am clearly the last five-clawed golden dragon in the world, but I was treated as a rare golden lizard by humans. This world will be invaded by monsters in a month, and I must continuously eat meat and grow during this month to protect Xianxia and become its guardian beast. But I was taken in by a zoo. My daily food consists of only 2 starch sausages. Just when I thought I couldn't complete my mission, Liu Qinghen not only fed me 2 tons of meat daily, but also had the entire nation feed me, and even had the country acquire meat from all over the world. In fact, he is a reborn person, reborn from 3 months in the future. A month later, monsters would appear all over the country. Humanity would fall into crisis, but a divine dragon appeared in Xianxia. He could never forget, because he was almost killed by monsters at that time. It was that divine dragon who appeared and saved him. He personally witnessed the divine dragon emerge from the zoo, then kill monsters and save the people in the dormitories. But in the monster war 3 months later, the divine dragon died. He was besieged by several monsters and died. Before dying, he let out a mournful cry. He heard it clearly. The divine dragon said, "If only I could have eaten more and grown stronger, my fate would not have been like this." After the divine dragon's death, Xianxia was overrun by monsters. He also died, but he didn't expect to be reborn, so he immediately came to this zoo to find the divine dragon. "Where exactly are you? I will make you grow strong. You are the savior who will save Xianxia." Liu Qinghen looked left and right, but couldn't see the divine dragon, because the divine dragon was golden. He believed the divine dragon was also golden when it was young. Moreover, dragons resemble snakes. He subconsciously thought the divine dragon was being raised as a snake, so he immediately went to the snake enclosure. Lai Tianming's walkie-talkie rang at this moment. "Director, it's bad. A giant python has escaped, and it's gone into the lizard enclosure." "What?" "I'll be right there," Lai Tianming replied. Then he immediately ran towards the lizard enclosure. The area, it was less than 10 meters away, right next to the snake enclosure. Seeing this, Liu Qinghen quickly followed. That python must be the divine dragon. Yes, that's right. It couldn't hold back and wanted to go out to eat. It must have set its sights on the lizards. That's definitely it. Good. I finally found you. In this life, I will make you grow strong quickly and become the most invincible divine dragon in the world. Liu Qinghen was extremely excited. He believed he had found the divine dragon. When he ran to the lizard enclosure, he saw a yellow giant python. It was about 2 meters long. This made him even more certain that this was what he was looking for. In front of the giant python was a golden lizard. It looked stunned and didn't move at all. What a pity. In front of the divine dragon, you can only become food. Liu Qinghen sighed inwardly. Lai Tianming saw the lizard about to be swallowed by the giant python. He also felt extremely sad and distressed, because this was the only lizard left in the lizard enclosure. If it died, they could just close this area. Many people felt anxious for the lizard. Facing such a huge python, you must be very desperate. Right, everyone thought the lizard was doomed. After all, the size difference was too great. At this moment, Chen King looked at the giant python in front of him. To say he was scared, that was definitely true, but he was a divine dragon. How could he falter? The giant python hissed, flicking its tongue. Tree trunks overflowing with sand watched Qingchen. Poised and ready, with dragon's might, Chen King used a skill to emit the aura of a divine dragon, releasing terrifying pressure. In an instant, the vast and obscure I Ching closest to clarification. It looked at the originally weak lizard before it, which had now, for some unknown reason, become terrifying, as if it had seen its nemesis. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, the giant python slowly retreated backward, showing human-like fear. It seemed to no longer dare to eat the lizard. "What's going on?" Lai Tianming exclaimed in surprise. He had thought this lizard was surely doomed, but now it seemed the giant python seemed to fear it. Liu Qinghen's eyes widened as he stared intently at the lizard. Could it be that the lizard before me is the true divine dragon? Just then, Chen King moved. He suddenly rushed forward, brandishing his sharp claws at the giant python. With his dragon's might, he exerted an incredibly terrifying pressure on the giant python, making the giant python unable to resist at all. It had already lost psychologically. With one claw strike, the giant python's body was instantly torn open. Flesh tore open, and blood flowed. Terrified, the giant python repeatedly tried to crawl away. But after it came in, the people outside had already closed the exit, leaving it nowhere to escape. "Food? You still want to run?" Chen King said coldly, but to outsiders, it sounded like chirping. He continuously wielded his powerful claws, using his dragon's might to suppress the giant python, and forcibly killed it. Everyone was dumbfounded. A lizard had actually killed a giant python over 2 meters long. This battle, which originally had no suspense, had actually reversed. It was too shocking. Liu Qinghen was dumbfounded. His eyes gleamed with a strange light. He watched Chen King slowly eat the giant python. He was absolutely certain in his heart that this was the divine dragon he was looking for. "Director Lai, I'm investing immediately, and I want to raise this lizard. Have someone send him meat immediately. Send as much as there is. Let him eat his fill," Liu Qinghen said excitedly. Lai Tianming was stunned. He had thought Liu Qinghen was interested in snakes, but it turned out he was interested in the lizard. However, whatever the patron said, He just had to do it. So, he immediately had the staff take out all the meat and put it into the lizard enclosure. At this moment, Chen King was devouring the giant python with great relish. Feeding successful. Evolution points increased by 3. Feeding successful. Evolution points increased by 3. Feeding successful. Evolution points increased by 3. The notification sounds kept ringing, and his body grew larger and larger. This made Liu Qinghan, who had been observing from outside, extremely shocked. It's getting bigger and bigger. He really is the divine dragon. No doubt about it. How can this be? How is it getting bigger and bigger? Lai Tianming looked at Chen King in surprise. This growth rate was too fast, and it was growing at a visible rate. Could it be a monster? Until Chen King had eaten the entire giant python, over 2 meters long. After eating it all, he stopped growing, but by then, he was already over 1 meter long. His weight reached 50 jin. The 2 large bumps on his head also broke open. Tiny dragon horns protruded from within. His entire body of dragon scales glittered, becoming very majestic and imposing. No longer just a lizard, but comparable to a crocodile. Director Lai, this is a normal phenomenon. Have everyone sign a non-disclosure agreement. The zoo will be closed for a month. I want to renovate it and reopen in a month. Liu Qinghan said. The news of the divine dragon could not be known by others. He feared ill-intentioned people might harm the divine dragon. He wanted to secretly nurture it, train the divine dragon to be the strongest. Only then would it be ready to face the monsters in a month. Lai Tianming nodded. He was already the boss. He just had to do as he was told. As long as the zoo could still operate, anything was fine. Starting today, we will vigorously raise this lizard. Find more people to guard it. The lizard must not suffer even the slightest harm. Liu Qinghan said coldly. Okay, Lai Tianming nodded. Although he didn't understand Liu Qinghan's meaning, he could tell that he seemed to really like this lizard. Rich people are truly willful. For a single lizard, he actually spent money to take over the entire zoo. After Chen King finished eating the giant python, he checked his evolution points. His evolution points had now reached 32. One giant python had given him 30 points, besides his body growing larger. He had no new skills. Oh, I wonder if a few more giant pythons will come. If it's chicken drumsticks every day, I'll starve to death here sooner or later. Chen King sighed inwardly. Even after eating the giant python, he didn't feel full. One can imagine how huge his appetite was. Food's here. Eat more. Just then, the staff outside brought another meal. Chen King thought it would still be 2 chicken drumsticks, but when he looked up, he was stunned. What was brought in was half a pig. Holy crap. Has the Imperial Court's disaster relief finally arrived? Or is this his last meal? Why is the food so lavish this time? So envious these days. Even lizards have rich women sponsoring them. Why doesn't anyone sponsor me? That's the richest man's daughter. I heard Liu Qinghan is also the campus belle of Qinshi University. It's infuriating how much better off lizards are than people. The staff outside the door exclaimed. Chen King heard everything clearly. The richest man's daughter. Campus belle Liu Qinghan. Who is she? Why would she sponsor me? Chen King was puzzled. He had transmigrated here, so he definitely didn't know Liu Qinghan. And now he was just a lizard. It was even less likely for her to know him. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Maybe she just likes lizards, as long as there's food. That's all that matters. Chen King quickly ran to eat the half-pig. Evolution points increased wildly, and after he finished eating the half-pig, the staff brought another half. He couldn't help but exclaim that this was simply paradise. Daughter, I heard you acquired a zoo. Liu Qinghan was currently facing her father's question. Yes. Can you tell me why? Father, you might not believe me if I tell you. This zoo concerns the future of Xianxia. Liu Qingsong was silent for a moment. The future of Xianxia. You'll understand in a month. I can't explain the specifics right now. The fact that he is a reborn person cannot be revealed yet, even if I did. No one would believe me. All right. Let's consider it your first step in starting a business. Liu Qingsong didn't say anything more. He let go and allowed Liu Qinghan to proceed. In the following days, the zoo closed for renovation, and the staff, following Liu Qinghan's instructions, went to feed Chen King every day, and Chen King's growth rate shocked all the staff. Day 1, Chen King's body had reached 3 meters long, weighing 100 jin. He was almost filling the entire west zone. This shocked Lai Tianming. Liu Qinghan instructed everyone to clear out the adjacent snake area, to create a larger enclosure. Chen Qingzhu hired people to build it. Over 100 people, in one day, quickly built a 100-meter open-top space. Glass partitions were installed, and a natural ecological environment to make Chen King more comfortable. During this time, food was continuously supplied. Time came to the second day. Chen King was already 6 meters long, weighing 1,500 jin. He could even stand up, reaching a height of 3 stories. Standing up would hit the partition, so Chen King didn't stand up again. But as he grew larger, he needed to eat even more. He had to eat at least several hundred jin of meat a day. If Liu Qinghan didn't have substantial funds, she wouldn't be able to afford to keep him. The bigger Chen King got, the more excited Liu Qinghan became. Grow quickly. Divine Dragon. In a month, you will shock the world. Day 3. Chen King's length exceeded 10 meters. weighing 3,000 jin. The dragon horns on his head had fully protruded. His body slowly became slender, not as wide as a lizard. The dragon scales on his body sparkled. Extremely brilliant, he increasingly resembled a dragon. This left everyone at the zoo utterly shocked. Is this still a lizard? How come it looks so much like a legendary dragon? Chen Qing's growth was too fast, causing many people to feel fear. Could this be some kind of monster? If it continues to grow like this, will it eat all of us? This led to many staff members resigning and leaving. Liu Qinghen looked at the enormous Chen Qing, frowning slightly. If this continues, the matter of the divine dragon will be impossible to hide sooner or later. His appearance had already caused a butterfly effect. If it weren't for him, the divine dragon wouldn't have been discovered, because it wouldn't have grown strong enough at all. However, she soon let go of her worries. The divine dragon would be impossible to hide sooner or later. She needed to prepare herself mentally for how to deal with her family and how to deal with the country. When absolutely necessary, she would reveal her identity as a reborn person to prepare the entire nation. That night, Chen Qing fell into a deep sleep, and at this moment, a figure walked in from outside, cautiously approaching him. Her eyes lit up. Divine Dragon, thank you for protecting me in my previous life. This life, I definitely won't let you die. Liu Qinghen spoke softly. If the Divine Dragon hadn't saved her, she would have died long ago in her previous life. She looked at Chen Qing before her, cautiously reaching out to touch Chen Qing's head, stroking his scales. Her heart was incredibly agitated. Tears of excitement streamed down. He had wanted to touch the divine dragon for a long time. She never expected that this life would fulfill this wish of hers. However, Chen Qing's sudden deep breath startled her. She quickly left. Not long after Liu Qinghen left, the dragon's eyes slowly opened. So this woman is a reborn person. Chen Qing thought to himself. He had heard everything Liu Qinghen said just now. I didn't expect her to be a reborn person. No wonder she came to help him. And according to Liu Qinghen's words, he died in his previous life. It must have been due to malnutrition. So, as long as he eats enough this life, he definitely won't die. Time came to the 10th day. Under the continuous supply of food, Chen Qing, his body length reached 90 meters. Weighing 500 tons, evolution points reached 10,000. Many skills were unlocked. The dragon horns on his head were completely exposed. His body became slender and extremely intimidating. His dragon scales shimmered with golden light. His head was exactly like a legendary dragon's. At this point, he already showed clear signs. Anyone who saw him could recognize that this was a dragon. Miss Liu, how did this lizard turn into this? I think he looks like a dragon. Lai Tianming, standing outside the glass partition, was greatly alarmed. In just 10 days, the lizard that was once over 100 centimeters long had transformed into a terrifying creature, nearly 100 meters long. If he hadn't been constantly lying down, he probably would have broken through the sky long ago, and everyone outside would have seen him. He is a dragon, Liu Qinghen said calmly. It can no longer be hidden. Hearing Liu Qinghen's words, Lai Tianming was greatly astonished. This is a dragon? No way. Do legendary dragons really exist? Boss? Park director? This is bad. A large crowd of reporters and people have gathered outside. They all say they want to come in and see the dragon. Just then, Liu Qinghen and Lai Tianming's walkie-talkie rang. The staff member's voice made both of them turn pale with fright. What's going on? How do the people outside know we have a dragon here? Liu Qinghen quickly said, Impossible. Everyone signed a confidentiality agreement, unless someone betrayed the confidentiality agreement. Last night, a drone entered our park and filmed the dragon. That video has already gone viral on short video platforms. This utterly shocked Liu Qinghen. Damn it, how did we not guard against this? That person is truly damn despicable. It's true. I saw it. Lai Tianming placed his phone in front of Liu Qinghen. The video inside was a scene in the darkness. It was from a drone's perspective, looking down from above. It captured a colossal creature sleeping, and this colossal creature was Chen Qing inside the enclosure. Even in the dark night, the dragon scales on his body shimmered with golden light, drawing attention, and the title was very eye-catching. Shocking, Kenshi Zoo. A giant dragon appears. No wonder the zoo closed for renovation. They found a dragon. This is definitely humanity's greatest discovery. It already has over 10 million likes and millions of comments. Holy crap, is it real or fake? I'm not easily fooled. So there's really a dragon. The glittering golden dragon. This is definitely a dragon. Where is this? I want to go see the dragon. Ken Zoo. I know it. It's right near my house. I'll go check it out tomorrow. If there's no dragon, just you wait. Blogger. This is definitely a major discovery in human history. Dragons really exist. It's so astounding, even when it's asleep. It makes me feel a terrifying, subtle pressure. Is this a dragon? Damn it. Liu Qinghen gritted his teeth, seething with anger. He didn't expect to be exposed because of this. But now, he can only deal with it. And just then, his phone rang. Seeing the caller ID, he sighed. Father knows. Then he'll have to reveal it. Liu Group Chairman's office. Liu Qingsong sat at his desk. Tell me, what's going on? Is it your marketing? Or is there really a dragon? Ever since he learned his daughter invested in a zoo, he sent people to monitor it closely. Until half an hour ago, that person called him to tell him about the online situation. He then realized how absurd it was. They actually said there was a dragon in the zoo. Who doesn't know that's fake? If this is his daughter's marketing strategy, that's really great. Dad, what I'm about to say might shock you greatly, but it's all true. The one in my zoo. That's really a dragon, and it's a divine dragon. Liu Qinghen looked seriously at Liu Qingsong and spoke. Liu Qingsong was stunned. He coldly scolded. Nonsense. How could it be a dragon? Do you know how much impact this will have? Now, this matter has already caused a huge uproar online. Once media reporters find out this is fake, and that you're spreading all these rumors, do you know how much impact this will have on the company? It's all real. If you don't believe me, you can go to the zoo, and this concerns the future of Xianxia, Liu Qinghen said earnestly, looking at his daughter's serious expression and her unquestionable tone. Liu Qingsong froze. His daughter never used to talk to him like this. How did she change? All right, then I'll go see this so-called dragon. Outside the zoo, it was still packed with people, all netizens and media reporters, who came after hearing the news. All wanted to witness a real dragon. Just then, several luxurious Rolls-Royces stopped by the roadside, attracting most of the attention. The license plate had 5/8. This is Chairman Liu's car. Why is Chairman Liu here? Could he also be here to see the dragon? Holy crap! Is this for real? Quick! Take photos. Could it be that this zoo is actually owned by Chairman Liu, and the dragon inside is also his pet? As Liu Qingsong and Liu Qinghen got out of the car, numerous cameras focused on the two and began frenziedly taking pictures. Facing the camera flashes, Liu Qingsong's expression remained calm. Many bodyguards got out to separate them from the crowd. They arrived at the entrance. Lai Tianming quickly opened the door for them, letting the two of them enter. At this moment, everyone realized that the dragon was connected to Chairman Liu. Videos were quickly uploaded to various major platforms, causing a huge sensation. Riding a sightseeing cart, Liu Qingsong and others arrived at Qingshen's habitat when he saw the enormous golden divine dragon. Prostrate on the ground, deep in slumber, this man, usually calm, a billionaire who had seen many storms, was also dumbfounded. His eyes revealed deep shock. What kind of monster is this? My own daughter actually raised such a colossal creature in a zoo. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never have believed it. Dad, he is the divine dragon that can save Xianxia in the future. Every time she saw the divine dragon, Liu Qinghen would show excitement. There are still 20 days, and the giant beasts will appear. By then, people all over the world will be shocked by the divine dragon's appearance. In this lifetime, Xianxia will not perish so early. Liu Qingsong was at a loss for words. After a long while, he asked, "Can I go in and see?" As soon as he said this, everyone around was startled. The bodyguard who had followed Liu Qingsong for over 20 years quickly spoke. Boss, this isn't appropriate. Currently, we don't know if it eats people. If it truly is the divine dragon protecting Xianxia, then why would it eat me? After speaking, Liu Qingsong walked towards the entrance. He wanted to go in and see. Liu Qinghen didn't stop him. Instead, she followed her father in. Seeing this, everyone quickly followed. As a large group of people entered, Qingshen, in a semi-slumber state, awoke. He suddenly opened his dragon eyes. Those golden, like gold, dragon pupils instantly fixed on Liu Qingsong and the others. The terrifying subtle pressure that naturally arose was like Mount Tai pressing down on everyone. Thump, thump. In an instant, Liu Qingsong and the others couldn't withstand the subtle pressure. They all knelt down in unison. Their bodies trembled. Their teeth chattered from fear. Their souls were terrified to the extreme. A dragon? This must be a dragon. Liu Qingsong felt the suppression from his bloodline. As everyone knows, Xianxia people are descendants of the dragon. Only a dragon could bring them this terrifying sense of oppression. What are you waiting for? Suddenly, Qingshen spoke, uttering human words. Everyone was greatly startled. Liu Qingsong was terrified. Enduring the subtle pressure, he raised his head to look at the giant divine dragon. Dumbfounded. You can actually speak. For a divine dragon. What's so special? What's so rare about speaking human words? Qingshen slowly raised its head, looking down at everyone. It had long ago acquired the skill of speaking human words. The divine dragon's subtle pressure slowly released, making the bones of the few people tremble. Lord Divine Dragon, we're not here to harm you. Please retract your subtle pressure. If this continues, we'll all die, Liu Qinghen shouted. She felt her bones trembling, about to shatter. Upon hearing this, Qingshen retracted its subtle pressure. Only then could the few people slowly stand up. Looking at the divine dragon that spoke human words, Liu Qingsong's heart was incredibly excited. This was even more exciting than the day he became the richest man. Dragons, legendary dragons. He had only heard rumors about them online, never seen a real divine dragon. But now, seeing the divine dragon, the feeling it gave him was like a descendant seeing an ancestor. There was a close connection in their bloodline, making him feel very fortunate. Lord Divine Dragon, during this time, I've been arranging your food. Are you eating well? Liu Qinghen said excitedly. Qingshen looked at Liu Qinghen. Ignorant one, I wish to thank you for your hospitality during this time. I will not forget. If not for Liu Qinghen, it would not have developed so rapidly. Lord Divine Dragon, in 20 days, Monsters will appear. Please protect Xianxia. Protect us, Liu Qinghen said. As soon as she said this, the others were greatly startled. All looked at Liu Qinghen. Daughter? What are you saying? Liu Qingsong looked at his daughter. He asked in surprise. What? Monsters appearing in 20 days. Ignorant one. The heavens sent me here precisely to eliminate the monsters and save Xianxia, Qingchen said in a deep voice, hearing the divine dragon's words. Only then did everyone truly believe that monsters would appear in 20 days. All of this sounded like a dream, but the divine dragon before them was incredibly real. How could it be a dream if monsters really appeared in 20 days? Then what should they do? Many people had already decided to resign and then prepare food and seek refuge. Director, this is bad. Large group of investigators has arrived outside. They received a public tip-off saying we're keeping illegal animals inside, and they want to come in and inspect. Suddenly, Lai Tianming's walkie-talkie rang. It was the voice of the security guard at the entrance. Hearing this, everyone was greatly alarmed. The investigators were here. If they came in, they would definitely discover the divine dragon. What should they do? Tianming looked at Liu Qinghen worriedly, his eyes asking what to do. Leave it to me, Liu Qingsong said, and quickly walked out, making a phone call to someone. Liu Qinghen frowned. Things were getting more and more serious. They couldn't hide it for too long. Even the investigators had come looking, and the divine dragon would grow bigger and bigger. Sooner or later, even the national army would come looking. Director, it's fine now. All the investigators have left. At this moment, Liu Qingsong returned after making his call. Amazing. They won't be coming back. This isn't a long-term solution. It will be discovered sooner or later. Liu Qinghen sighed. One day it will be exposed. In the eyes of the world, you don't need to hide, Qingchen said calmly. Everyone looked up at the divine dragon. Yes, the divine dragon is getting bigger day by day. How long can this be hidden? Divine dragon, is there anything we can help you with? Liu Qingsong said. More food. Okay, I understand. Hearing this, Liu Qingsong immediately made another call. Buy all the meat in the entire city immediately and send it to Qin's zoo. Not only that, he also made many calls, all to slaughterhouse owners, telling them to send all the prepared meat over. His connections were still very strong. With just a few calls, all the meat in the city was ready to be transported to the zoo. And it was all fresh meat. Even those who had already opened their shops packed up everything and brought it over. By the end of the day, the delivered meat was piled up like a mountain. Before Qingchen, it opened its dragon maw and began to feast. In one bite, it ate half the meat. Its evolution points increased wildly. In less than a moment, its body surpassed 200 meters. Evolution points reached 15,000. Unlocked. Divine Dragon's raging flames. And all the food was eaten, witnessing the Divine Dragon's terrifying appetite. Liu Qingsong was utterly shocked. He also picked up his phone and made call after call. Over the next 5 days, a continuous supply of meat was sent by Liu Qingsong's people, some even delivered by helicopter, and all the animals in the zoo were secretly transferred to a new environment. Now, the entire zoo only had Qingchen. On the second day, Qingchen's evolution points surpassed 20,000. Its body reached 400 meters in length. Unlocked. Space enveloping skill. On the third day, Qingchen's evolution points surpassed 30,000. Its body reached 1,000 meters in length. Weight. 5,000 tons. Unlocked. Dragon's perception skill. On the fifth day, Qingchen's evolution points had reached 50,000. Its body reached 3,000 meters in length. Weight. 50,000 tons. And it mastered the divine transformation ability, allowing it to change. Its small body no longer occupied a large area. Moreover, its dragon tail also evolved, able to nullify all thermal weapons. The sun was shining brightly. A golden divine dragon, like a small snake, was floating in midair, resting with its eyes closed. Divine dragon, this is what you instructed us to find. We found it for you. Liu Qinghen came over with bodyguards. One of the bodyguards was holding a wooden box. Upon opening it, inside was actually a red fruit. Gene fruit. After consumption, it can alter human genes, making them powerful. Qingchen opened its eyes and looked at the fruit. This was the fruit it had sensed with its dragon's perception. Ever since unlocking this skill, it could sense energy fields within a radius of 100,000 meters. The stronger the energy of an object, the stronger the sensation. You consume it. I don't need this. It will benefit you, Qingchen said slowly. Hearing this, Liu Qinghen's heart trembled. The divine dragon was thinking of him. Thank you, divine dragon. Liu Qinghen bowed in thanks, picked up the fruit, and swallowed it. He had no doubts about the divine dragon's words. After swallowing it, Liu Qinghen felt a surge of immense power throughout his body. It was as if he had boundless strength, able to smash a tree with a single punch. He struck back, his hand blade chopping towards the wooden box in the bodyguard's hand. It instantly exploded, scattering splinters everywhere, seeing their young lady suddenly become so strong. The bodyguards were stunned. Thank you, divine dragon. Liu Qinghen immediately knelt on one knee and shouted loudly. In this life, he had become completely different. With the help of the divine dragon, he had transcended mortals. Continue to search according to what I've told you. These things can help you become stronger. Qingchen said, it sensed many objects with immense energy, which should be similar to the gene fruit. They should be related to the imminent appearance of monsters. Now, until the monsters appear. There was only half a month left. Just then, Liu Qinghen's phone rang. It was Liu Qingsong calling. As soon as he answered, Liu Qingsong's anxious voice came through. Qinghen, quickly take the divine dragon and leave. The military is here. The voice was very loud. The few people around could all hear it. Qingchen slowly raised its dragon eyes and said calmly, "No need. They are already here." As soon as its voice fell, Liu Qinghen's eyes widened. In the distant sky, 5 military helicopters were approaching. Their target was clearly this location. They were very fast, arriving directly above the zoo. And outside, at this moment, a neat uniform and loud sound of footsteps was heard. Looking closely, countless fully armed soldiers ran over in formation, surrounding Qingchen's habitat. Not only that, 2 tanks also drove up outside, heavily encircling the zoo. People inside, "Listen, you are surrounded." Immediately, a middle-aged man in camouflage uniform shouted loudly through a megaphone. Liu Qinghen was terrified by such a grand display, fearing they would provoke the divine dragon. "No, we're not bad people," Liu Qinghen shouted. At this moment, from among the military personnel walked a middle-aged man with a square face. The epaulette on his shoulder had a dragon head insignia. Seeing this dragon head, Liu Qinghen's expression changed in surprise. The nation's highest-ranking protector general. Looking at his face again, he had seen it in his previous life. It was Wang Guotian, who had achieved countless military merits. After the monsters appeared, the first monster killed by humans in Xianxia died at his hands. At that time, he controlled a fighter jet to bomb the monster's head, and with superb skill, he literally blasted it to death. Wang Guotian looked inside. When he saw Qingchen floating in midair, he was greatly alarmed. It really is a dragon. The satellite didn't lie. Everything online is true. Wang Guotian exclaimed in shock. He was a materialist and originally didn't believe in the existence of dragons. But the satellite had captured Qin's zoo. A colossal creature appeared, and its thermal energy was extremely high. The higher-ups believed a monster had appeared, so they sent him here. Unexpectedly, it was truly the legendary dragon, but it's unclear whether this dragon is good or bad. If it's evil, then for Xianxia, it could be a catastrophic disaster. Everyone aimed at the monster hovering in midair. Wang Guotian said coldly, "Before we know for sure, we must be vigilant." In an instant, all the soldiers raised their rifles, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, and other terrifyingly lethal weapons, all aimed at Liu Qinghen and others, as well as Qingchen. "Don't shoot. We are good people. This is a divine dragon. He has come to save us." Facing countless firearms, Liu Qinghen shouted. Standing her ground, she raised her hands high and slowly walked out. She came before the soldiers and looked at General Wang Guotian. "I want to talk to you." Wang Guotian was a general of Xianxia, so it was appropriate for Liu Qinghen to call him General Wang. "How do you intend to talk?" "It's not good to talk here. I want to talk to you alone," Liu Qinghen said. Wang Guotian pondered for a moment. He agreed to Liu Qinghen's request. He sent female soldiers to search her. After confirming her safety, he led her into his military vehicle. As soon as they entered, Liu Qinghen got straight to the point. "General Wang, that is a dragon, a true divine dragon. It is responsible for protecting Xianxia's divine ley lines. Then why would the 12 zodiac animals include a creature that doesn't exist?" Liu Qinghen said earnestly. This question startled Wang Guotian. He continued, "Dragons are inherently fictional. That one is just a monster that looks like a dragon, isn't it?" "Don't be fooled, General Wang. What I'm about to say might make you feel incredulous or even call me absurd, but everything I say is true. In fact, I am a reborn person from the future." Liu Qinghen stopped pretending. She laid her cards on the table. In this current situation, only by revealing everything could they turn the tide. Hearing this, Wang Guotian slowly widened his eyes, blurring out, "Absurd? How can there be such a thing as a reborn person? Liu Qinghen, to lie, you've even uttered such an absurd falsehood." Wang Guotian said coldly. Liu Qinghen's mind raced, trying to think of a solution, until her gaze fell upon the electronic clock in the military vehicle. After seeing today's date on it, she was suddenly startled. "General Wang, is there a world football match today? Is it America playing against sneaky country?" She remembered he still had some impression of this match, because her father loved watching football. Back then, as soon as she got home, her father would drag her to the living room to watch the game. That was her first football match she had watched from beginning to end in her life, so the impression was deep. "It starts in an hour," Wang Guotian said. He also quite liked football, so he paid attention to it. Liu Qinghen said excitedly, "I know the result. America will score within 2 minutes of the game starting. Then the second goal will also be scored by America, by a player using a bicycle kick. The final score of this match will be 5-0, with America winning completely." "How is that possible? I've been following this match. Sneaky country has their best players, and they've been performing exceptionally well this year. How could America win, and by such a crushing margin?" Wang Guotian said calmly. "Anyway, there's still an hour. If General Wang doesn't believe, you can wait." "Do you think I have that much time to wait for you?" "Yes, because this concerns Xianxia's future. I truly came back from the future. My mission is to save Xianxia." Liu Qinghen spoke with utmost sincerity. This made Wang Guotian's heart begin to waver. Could it be that this woman really came back from the future? But rebirth Such a thing sounds truly unbelievable. Isn't that just a plot device in novels? How could it happen in reality? After pondering for a moment, Wang Guotian issued an order. He told all soldiers to rest in place. Helicopters were to circle in the air first. They would act after 1 hour. He decided to believe Liu Qinghan. Seeing Wang Guotian issue the order, Liu Qinghan smiled. Not long after, Wang Guotian had someone bring a screen. He turned on the sports channel, waiting for the upcoming match. An hour passed. The match began. Wang Guotian watched the match intently. Liu Qinghan was full of confidence. The others were puzzled. Why had they suddenly started watching a football match? Until the match truly began. 2 minutes later, America completed a perfect shot, quickly scoring 1 point. At this moment, Wang Guotian was stunned. He stared at the screen, dumbfounded. He couldn't believe it. It was truly 2 minutes. Not a second off. He suddenly looked at Liu Qinghan. His eyes seemed to say, "Are you really a reborn person?" The match proceeded unusually smoothly. Half an hour later, America, by means of players' decisive and impressive bicycle, perfectly scored a goal. The moment the goal was scored, Wang Guotian's heart also trembled. Right again. Right again. She even got the goal-scoring posture right. This was an international football match. No matter how capable Liu Qinghan was, she couldn't have influenced it. Until the match ended, Wang Guotian stared in shock at the scoreboard. 5-0. America won completely. At this moment, he slumped into his seat. He had someone remove the screen, then had someone close the car door. "General Wang, do you believe me now? You really came back from the future." At this point, Wang Guotian half believed her. He looked at Liu Qinghan and asked, "Yes, I came back to save Xianxia. What I'm about to tell you next, you must listen carefully." Seeing Liu Qinghan's seriousness, Wang Guotian straightened his body and listened attentively. In 15 days, monsters will appear all over the world. They are monsters from various forms of media. They will all come into reality, inflicting incredibly cruel harm upon us. The end of the world. Wang Guotian's eyes widened. This information was too shocking for him. Monsters, the end of the world. At that time, the whole world couldn't resist. Only Xianxia managed to cling to life for 3 months, precisely because of the divine dragon. Liu Qinghan said calmly, "It's just a pity that the divine dragon didn't develop well and couldn't resist for us for that long. It died under the siege of monsters." Hearing this, Wang Guotian looked through the car window at the divine dragon outside. Xianxia relies on him. If General Wang still doesn't believe, in 5 days, you can go to the bottom of the sea in High City to investigate. Perhaps you'll see a cosmic wormhole. Monsters will emerge from the wormhole. Later on, wormholes will be everywhere, Liu Qinghan said calmly. If that's truly the case, then can we only rely on the divine dragon? Yes, at least for the first few months. We must rely on the divine dragon, because we won't have the ability to protect ourselves. Is there anything I can do? Hearing this, Liu Qinghan paused. Is there anything the military can do suddenly? She thought of a bold idea. Can the whole country support the divine dragon? Liu Qinghan said. As soon as these words were spoken, Wang Guotian was stunned. The whole country supporting the divine dragon. Can it handle that? Yes. I need to report this to my superiors. The matter of the divine dragon cannot be kept secret. Since we want to gain the help of the entire nation, I think it should be made public so that everyone knows about the divine dragon's existence. Liu Qinghan's heart trembled. That's right, let the whole nation come to help the divine dragon. Feed him and nurture him. Let him grow up quickly. This is the correct method. I understand. Wang Guotian left with all his soldiers. The zoo returned to calm. Miss Liu, how did you do it? Lai Tianming asked in surprise. Why did they suddenly withdraw their troops? It's fine now. Everyone go back and rest. Tomorrow we open. As soon as she said this, Lai Tianming was stunned. Open for business. Is this a joke? The zoo isn't like it used to be now. Now there's a divine dragon. Seriously? We open tomorrow. Let everyone come in and see. Liu Qinghan nodded and said, the zoo has been renovated. Now, besides the divine dragon's habitat, there are no other animals. All other areas have been demolished. Right now, everyone can only see the divine dragon. She wants everyone to come and feed the divine dragon. Liu Jiahui will handle other matters. You may leave now. Lai Tianming opened his mouth, unsure what to say. In the end, he could only nod and leave. Not long after, only Chen Qing and Liu Qinghan remained at the scene. Divine dragon, can you transform into 100-meter form? Liu Qinghan looked at Chen Qing and asked. Chen Qing immediately guessed Liu Qinghan's intention. You want to use me to attract people nationwide, and then have them all feed me? Yes. The matter can no longer be kept secret. To allow you to grow faster, this is the best method. Billions of people nationwide feeding me together. That sounds quite interesting. In an instant, Chen Qing's body writhed and transformed, becoming a 100-meter-long figure. Circling in the air. The golden light was dazzling. The majestic and awe-inspiring dragon head looked down at Liu Qinghan. Even its voice became extremely majestic and satisfied. Just like that, Liu Qinghan immediately called her dad. He was going to do something that would shock the entire nation. What? You want to broadcast the divine dragon nationwide? Liu Group, Liu Qingsong, in the chairman's office, suddenly stood up, listening to his daughter's incredible request over the phone. He was startled. I've broadcast the divine dragon nationwide. This is an extraordinary matter that will shock the entire nation, causing billions of people to be astonished. Dad, time is running out. The divine dragon hasn't fully developed. We need more food. Relying on just us won't be enough. The power of the entire nation is the greatest. Liu Qinghen's words made Liu Qingsong fall into deep thought. Billions of people feeding the divine dragon together. What an enormous amount of food that would be. That's too terrifying. Can the divine dragon really eat all that? All right. I just acquired a live streaming platform. Let's use this platform to broadcast it live to everyone. Hanging up the phone, Liu Qingsong began to make arrangements. On the other side, drones flew around Chengqing. Circling, they were all aimed at Chengqing. Liu Qinghen immediately explained. Divine Dragon. Sir, these are drones. Tomorrow, they will broadcast the scene here, so that people nationwide will know about you. Naturally, Chengqing knew what these were. Yes, Chengqing nodded. Good. Not long after, on a live streaming platform named Dao, all online streamers turned black and white, and the title changed to tomorrow at 12 p.m. The world's first divine dragon will be live streamed. Many viewers who were watching live streams suddenly had their live streams close. Seeing the title change, they were immediately stunned. What does the world's first divine dragon mean? What is this all about? Holy crap. I just went out and took a look. I found that other live streams also changed to this kind of title. What's going on? Divine dragons. Aren't they just hoaxes? Could the platform be having issues? Do we have to wait until tomorrow noon? All right. Then I'll come back tomorrow to see. I'd like to see what on earth this world's first divine dragon is. 1 hour later, the world's first divine dragon became a trending topic. Countless people came, drawn by the name, all curious about what this first divine dragon could be. Meanwhile, Wang Guotian had been following Liu Qinghen, hearing the soldiers report. He also felt it was appropriate. It seems she really intends to use the nation's power to cultivate a divine dragon. The next second, his phone rang, seeing the caller ID. He was startled and quickly picked up. Hello, Chief. Is what you said true, that monsters will appear in 15 days? Yes. Then Liu Qinghen might not be wrong, because 10 days ago, in the sea, he really discovered a black hole that appeared out of nowhere. Hearing the chief's words, Wang Guotian was suddenly shocked. A black hole, yes. From that black hole, 2 incredibly strange creatures crawled out. They resembled humans, with slender limbs, but their heads could split open like a flower, revealing dense and sharp teeth. It took almost hundreds of bullets to kill them. The bodies have been brought back for research. They don't belong to any known animal species in our country. Wang Guotian was greatly alarmed. Then it can only be said that those are monsters. Liu Qinghen's words were not wrong. There really are monsters. Tomorrow, I will return to headquarters. I want to see the so-called divine dragon with my own eyes. If it truly is the divine dragon protecting Xianxia, we cannot do nothing. After speaking, the chief hung up the phone. Wang Guotian couldn't calm down for a long time. The end of the world is really coming, and hope rests on the divine dragon. If it's really true, then they must take action to help the divine dragon grow as quickly as possible. The next day, food once again piled up in the habitat. In less than a few minutes, Chengqing finished eating all more than 10 tons of food, but his evolution points were getting fewer and fewer. The larger his body became, the more food he needed, the higher the energy contained in the food. The better. System, show me the panel, Chengqing said inwardly. Chengqing, 5-clawed divine dragon. Growth stage. Length, 5 kilometers. Weight, 70,000 T. Skills, might of the divine dragon, spatial dragon claws, dragon sense, speak human tongue, divine dragon's fury flames, dragon's roar hardening, summon wind and rain, thunderous strikes, Mida's touch. Evolution points, 60,000. You are currently growing. Please continue to feed. Break through to adult form. At this moment, Chengqing already had 2 claws. He's a 5-clawed divine dragon. Only when all 5 claws emerge will he be truly complete. Still needs more food. Divine dragon. Sir, the live broadcast will begin in half an hour. Liu Qinghen formally walked over and said, Yesterday, accounts were registered on all live streaming platforms. Empty string for this line, as it's a split sentence from 171. Liu Qingsong also prepared countless live stream rooms on the platform he acquired, awaiting the live broadcast. As the live broadcast begins, the zoo will also open, allowing everyone to come in and visit. And tens of thousands of security personnel have been prepared, all from bodyguard companies nationwide, solely to ensure the safety of this divine dragon live broadcast. Chengqing nodded, understanding everything. Today, his full appearance was about to be completely revealed to the national audience. The world's first and only divine dragon would ignite the entire nation, leaving countless people in shock. The live broadcast countdown began. Countless people waited in the live stream rooms, waiting for the broadcast to start. They all wanted to see what the so-called divine dragon actually was. It's almost 12 o'clock. I wonder what the divine dragon really is. It must be fake. They might just show us special effects. No way. So many live stream rooms all have the same content. Could they all be fake? Could this be the live stream platform's marketing ploy? Heard that the Liu Group acquired this platform. Who cares? You know what's going on at 12 o'clock. Time passed bit by bit until 12 o'clock arrived. All live streams simultaneously displayed a picture. In the picture was a girl whose looks rivaled a female celebrity. Her sweet smile filled the live stream screen. Many male viewers were instantly captivated, but many people weren't there to see a pretty girl. They were all there to see the divine dragon. Get lost? Who wants to see a pretty girl? I can choose my own pretty girls. The divine dragon. Hurry up and let the divine dragon out. At this moment, Liu Qinghen, facing the lenses of countless drones, had a calm expression, but she smiled and said, I suppose everyone is here for the divine dragon. Then I won't waste any more words. Let's all take a look at the divine dragon. Shall we? As soon as her voice fell, all drones simultaneously aimed at the distant Qingshan. When the golden, shimmering dragon scales appeared on screen, the bullet comments instantly stopped. Countless netizens gasped as the camera slowly zoomed out. When the full appearance of the divine dragon appeared in the eyes of countless netizens, it was as if the world stood still. The divine dragon's eyes, full of domineering majesty. The moment they met the drone's gaze, countless people instantly felt a chill down their spine. Goosebumps covered their entire bodies. Even the timid knelt on the spot. Their bodies trembled. My legs can't move. I just knelt on the ground. What's going on? What terrifying eyes. It's as if they can kill me through the screen. Scary? Is this really a divine dragon? Or is it special effects? If this is special effects, then it's truly amazing. How is that possible? This is a live broadcast. If it's special effects, then the Liu Group will be the strongest special effects company in the world. Mom, I miss you. How can mere mortals withstand the might of a divine dragon? One by one, netizens dropped their phones, not daring to look again. They lowered their heads, panting heavily. Then, Liu Qinghen's voice rang out from the phone. Divine dragon, there are still people who don't believe in your existence. Please, awe this world. As soon as her voice fell, a sound was heard. An extremely resounding dragon roar erupted from the phone. In an instant, countless people covered their chests and ears, lying on the ground in extreme panic. The dragon roar just now seemed to penetrate their eardrums, striking their hearts and reaching their very souls. It was incredibly shocking. Ma Deng, an animal enthusiast in the dorm, was also watching the live stream. When he heard the dragon roar, his body was already trembling, and cold sweat broke out all over him. What a terrifying roar. This is definitely not something that any animal in the world could make. It's either a synthesized sound, or it's really a dragon, Ma Deng said in terror. Boom. Suddenly, outside, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Thunder rolled, coupled with the dragon roar from the phone. It made him even more terrified. Another dragon roar sounded, but this time, he froze because he heard the sound wasn't coming from his phone, but from outside. This greatly surprised him. He quickly walked to the window and pulled open the curtains. He was instantly dumbfounded. He saw that outside, which had been clear and sunny moments before, was now covered in dark clouds. A dark, oppressive mass hung over the dorms, making people feel suffocated. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. Streaks of lightning raged and surged within the dark clouds. He had thought this was just an ordinary thunderstorm, but the next second, Ma Deng's eyes widened in astonishment. He saw something else moving in the thunderclouds. At this moment, the dragon roar sounded again. It came from the sky. Ma Deng was even more convinced that the divine dragon was in the thunderclouds. A huge clap of thunder rang out. A streak of purple lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating the dark clouds. A colossal figure appeared within the dark clouds. It was churning. It was swimming. It existed within the thunderclouds like a mysterious monster. A dragon. It's definitely a divine dragon, Ma Deng exclaimed excitedly. He picked up his phone. The screen was now aimed at the thunderclouds. Liu Qinghen's voice rang out. At this moment, the divine dragon is churning in the thunderclouds. Friends in the dorms, as long as you look up, you can see it. Many people in the dorms were also watching the live stream. Hearing this, they rushed to the windows or doors. They looked up at the thunderclouds. The lightning and thunder illuminated the divine dragon. Indeed, a colossal dark shadow was swimming inside. This made them incredibly excited. A divine dragon. It's really a divine dragon. This is too shocking. China actually has a divine dragon. I was born in the year of the dragon. Divine dragon, please bless me with wealth. Hurry, make a wish. The divine dragon has appeared. This is a rare sight. A comical scene appeared. One by one, people knelt in the streets or in their homes, bowing towards the divine dragon in the thunderclouds. They made all sorts of wishes in their hearts. But Qingshan in the sky, how could he fulfill the wishes of these people? He saw that most people had been attracted by him, so he dispersed the dark clouds. When the thunderclouds receded, his full appearance appeared in the eyes of countless people. Everyone gasped. This isn't special effect. This isn't watching a movie. This is happening in reality. There really are divine dragons in the world. In an instant, countless people took out their phones to take photos and record videos, and Qingshan wanted exactly this effect, to let people spread the news of his existence far and wide. After the divine dragon disappeared, people's emotions still couldn't calm down, but Liu Qinghen's live stream wasn't over yet. The divine dragon is right here at Qinchi Zoo. Those who wish to come and feed the divine dragon may bring food. The divine dragon only eats meat. After she finished speaking, The live stream closed, leaving netizens with stunned expressions. Although the scene just now was truly shocking, many people still thought it was fake, that it was special effects. But not long after, photos and videos of the divine dragon began to circulate online. One might be fake, but could so many photos and videos all be fake? Weibo, the largest social networking site on the entire network. Many celebrities and official organizations had registered accounts. At this moment, the head of the review department, upon seeing so many photos and videos about the divine dragon circulating, he instantly felt his scalp tingle. Isn't this just spreading rumors? How could divine dragons exist in this world? It's all fake. He ordered his employees to fully delete these photos and videos. They must not be allowed to spread. But less than 10 minutes after he gave the order, he received a call from his boss. Do not delete them. The divine dragon truly exists. Boost the traffic for this matter, that more people know that it truly is a divine dragon. It can summon wind and rain and call forth thunder. It completely matches the divine dragon described in myths. Wang Guotian looked at the video, greatly astonished. Actually, that creature he thought was a monster really was divine. Just then, his superior called him. He immediately answered. Chief, what are your instructions? Did you watch the video? I did. You went to see it back then. Is it the divine dragon from the video? Yes. Come back for a moment. Prepare for a meeting. Hearing the words meeting, Wang Guotian's body stiffened. He asked, can I bring Liu Qinghan to the meeting? The chief was silent for a moment. Bring her. If she truly came back from the future, then she is very crucial, as Qingshan was exposed to the eyes of the world. The zoo welcomed an unprecedented explosion in visitor numbers. Almost everyone from the dorms came. They surged into the zoo, following the signs to Qingshan's habitat. When they saw the colossal creature suspended in midair, Qingshan, with his dragon eyes tightly closed, deeply asleep, they felt incredibly shocked. It really is a divine dragon. Our dorm really has a divine dragon. Quickly go. Divine Dragon Lord, bless me with good health, and may wealth flow in abundantly. So handsome, so imposing. Mythology didn't lie to me. Dragons really look like this. One by one, they immediately knelt and worshipping their own desires. Each person could only watch for 1 minute. After they finished watching, someone would forcibly lead them away to let the next person watch, and if they wanted to watch again, they had to bring more food. The divine dragon wasn't so easily seen. An hour later, Liu Qinghan was counting the food that had come in this time. Almost everyone from the zoo brought food. It was all meat. After counting, there were at least 5 tons. Indeed, the power of unity is the most great. In just 1 hour, 5 tons of meat were gathered. Liu Qinghan smiled. Adding the meat purchased today, there were at least 20 tons. That should be enough for the divine dragon to grow a bit. He also noticed that the divine dragon had a huge appetite recently, but its growth seemed very slow. It might be due to too little food. After all, raising a divine dragon isn't as simple as raising a cat or a dog. The divine dragon was like a bottomless pit, requiring endless food. Just then, his phone rang. It was Wang Guotian calling. After hearing the content, his eyes lit up. It's finally begun. This time, Xianxia would definitely not repeat the same mistakes. That night, the Divine Dragon incident completely exploded online. It was the top trending topic on all platforms. Countless people flocked to the dorm, all wanting a glimpse of the Divine Dragon. And after so long, no official explanation had been given. There wasn't even any debunking or deletion of photos and videos. This made everyone believe that this matter was very likely true. If it were fake, it would have been blocked long ago. For everyone's hearts, a terrifying thought spontaneously arose. The divine dragon really existed. At the same time, Liu Qinghan was invited to the Dragon Corps military base. Here, he met Wang Guotian and other Xianxia dragon generals. So many people gathered together. Must be for the divine dragon matter. Led by Wang Guotian, he arrived at a conference room. The other dragon generals looked at him with strange expressions, because his clothes were very out of place. Everyone else was in military uniform, while Liu Qinghan was just in ordinary casual wear. This made her stand out from the others. This is Liu Qinghan, Liu Qingsong's daughter. Liu Qingsong is Xianxia's richest man. Wang Guotian smiled and introduced. Hello, dragon generals. Liu Qinghan stood up and smiled. Having lived a second life, her mindset was no longer ordinary. If it were before, she might have been timid and nervous, but not now. Soon, an old man walked in from outside. Seeing this old man, Wang Guotian and the other dragon generals all stood up in unison. They said in unison, "Hello, Commander." Liu Qinghan also stood up and called out, looking at the white-haired old man and the 2 dragons embedded on the epaulets of his military uniform. He was the highest-ranking general. "Please sit." Lai Keng nodded and was the first to sit down. Then his gaze turned to Liu Qinghan. "Miss Liu, let's get straight to the point. I hear you're from the future." As soon as these words were spoken, except for Wang Guotian, everyone else was greatly alarmed. From the future? How absurd is that? How could the commander ask such a thing? "Yes, I am a reborn person. I'm from 3 months in the future," Liu Qinghan answered truthfully. Everyone immediately started discussing. How can she be from the future? That's too absurd. Indeed, a reborn person. That sounds even more impossible, but the military camp is no place for you to talk nonsense. "Commander, You haven't been deceived, have you? Lai Kang didn't answer, but looked at them and asked, have you seen the divine dragon incident today? Some looked bewildered, some surprised. Those who knew spoke up. Yes, we have, Commander. Do you think this matter is true? I believe it's true. Lai Kang nodded and said. The others were greatly astonished. The commander actually thinks it's true. Liu Qinghan was taken aback. She hadn't expected the commander to believe it, and she had persuaded Wang Guotian. It had taken her some time. She had originally been thinking about how to convince Lai Kang, but now it seemed unnecessary. Let me show you something, Lai Kang said, instructing a soldier to operate the equipment. A photo slowly appeared on the screen. When everyone saw the photo, they were stunned, but Liu Qinghan suddenly stood up and exclaimed in surprise, Man-eater. Seeing Liu Qinghan's reaction, Lai Kang smiled slightly. It's just as I guessed. Miss Liu, you know this kind of monster. He was testing Liu Qinghan this time. If she really came back from the future, she would definitely know this. Seeing Liu Qinghan's reaction to the monster, he believed her. This woman very likely came back from the future. She knows this is a monster that will appear in 14 days. Named Man-eater, it moves quickly and has a strange cry that shakes the soul. Can open its mouth wide enough to swallow an entire person. Moreover, its body is extremely hard, can withstand powerful firepower for several minutes. Liu Qinghan recalled events from her previous life. At that time, she personally witnessed an army attacking one of them. It took several minutes, and hundreds of bullets were expended to kill it. It was truly shocking. Later, the country named it Man-eater. It was a monster resembling a human, extremely terrifying. It was even scarier than those large monsters, because they hid in the darkness and would suddenly rush out and devour you. Listening to Liu Qinghan's words, everyone felt it was a tall tale. Only Lai Kang and Wang Guotian had solemn expressions, because they knew Liu Qinghan's words were all true. Miss Liu, please tell them what will happen in the future. In 14 days, monsters will appear all over the world. What should we do? If this is true, it will be the end of the world. Should we believe this? Each of the dragon generals looked at Lai Kang. They were still half believing, half doubting. Should we really believe Liu Qinghan's words? Things have come to this. We should believe her. Lai Kang spoke gravely. Looking at the screen, these monsters were discovered by us some time ago. Under investigation, they don't belong to any known animal species in the country. Even the scientist couldn't figure out what kind of monsters these were. But Liu Qinghan immediately guessed. She very likely came back from the future. He has no reason to lie to us. We only have 14 days. We must be prepared. After hearing Lai Kang's words, everyone fell silent. Miss Liu, do you know where Xianxia's first monster will appear? Lai Kang looked at Liu Qinghan and asked. It's in Qinshi. Liu Qinghan replied. She would never forget the first monster. Appeared in Qinshi. That day, she was originally going out to play, but then encountered the monster's appearance. If the divine dragon hadn't soared out of the zoo, she would have died. Which specific location? Next to the zoo. In my previous life, I was saved by the divine dragon. That's why I was reborn and came back. To save Xianxia and to help the divine dragon. Liu Qinghan said. Everyone was startled. Save Xianxia, help the divine dragon grow. Commander, time is running out. We must help the divine dragon grow. It is the key to Xianxia's survival. I know what you're thinking. Building a walled city to resist the monsters. Yes, Liu Qinghan said. Looking at Lai Kang, the latter was greatly shocked. He was indeed just thinking about building a wall, similar to the Great Wall, to resist the monsters, but he didn't expect. Liu Qinghan actually knew what he was thinking. How did you know? Because in your previous life, you also made such a decision. If it were my previous life, I would have thought this decision was excellent. But now, I no longer think so, because the wall that people spent a month building was utterly crushed by the monsters in just 1 minute. Hearing this, Lai Kang was extremely shocked. He had thought such a wall would resist monsters, but it turned out to be futile. Can humanity only rely on the divine dragon? Yes, and I have an idea, but it requires the divine dragon's agreement. What idea? Lai Kang asked. Perhaps we can ask divine dragon Darren to borrow some of his blood. Then we can develop a gene serum to make ourselves stronger. The people of Xianxia are descendants of the dragon, so dragon blood is very likely to make them stronger. This was just a bold idea from Liu Qinghan, but she didn't know if it could succeed. The prerequisite was still to get divine dragon Darren's consent. Hearing this, Lai Kang was startled. This might be a good method. Liu Qinghan then spoke. But right now, we must let the divine dragon grow. Only when he grows up can we be protected. Monsters cannot be resisted with thermal weapons, not even nuclear weapons. He knew of a monster that could even absorb nuclear weapons. It was called Godzilla, born in the island nation. That was one of the most terrifying monsters of the future. The crowd fell silent. Not even nuclear weapons can stop them. I understand. We will now initiate the feeding plan. I will report this and procure large quantities of food from all over the world to feed the divine dragon. Lai Kang quickly made a decision. Since humanity would rely on the divine dragon to survive in the future, they would prepare in advance to help the divine dragon rise. Furthermore, to obtain the gene serum, they still needed the divine dragon's consent. This was their first step in befriending the divine dragon. At this very moment, the national nurturing plan officially began. The next day, Chen Jing woke up from his slumber. Dozens of tons of food were again laid before him. He finished it all in just a few bites. Soon, He also noticed the crowd of people around him, all there to see him. Everyone was incredibly excited to see him wake up, but he merely glanced around and fell back into slumber. He only woke up at noon with Liu Qinghen's arrival. Divine Dragon Darren, I've come to tell you some good news. I attended a meeting. The nation is preparing to launch a nationwide feeding initiative. By then, your food intake will be several times more than it is now, perhaps even 10 times more. Hearing this good news, Chen Jing's heart was cleansed of all worries. He knew he would do his best to protect Xianxia. This was the promise he gave. Hearing these words, Liu Qinghen became even more excited. At the same time, the people around, who had come to see the Divine Dragon, also heard it. The Divine Dragon spoke human words. They once again knelt in gratitude to the Divine Dragon. Liu Qinghen relayed these words, verbatim, to Lai Kang and the others. After they heard it, their hearts were much more at ease. With the Divine Dragon's words, they could proceed with great confidence. Divine Dragon Darren, I have an impudent request. Could you give me a bottle of your blood? Hearing this, Chen Jing immediately understood. These people wanted to use his blood to create a gene serum, to make humanity stronger. This reminded him of a movie he had seen in his previous life. Captain America, he became strong by using a serum. If it was his blood, could it make them even stronger? But was this feasible? He asked the system in his mind. Yes, but the blood of the Divine Dragon is the most terrifying energy blood in the world. One drop of blood must be diluted 100 million times before it can be used. Otherwise, with the fragile human body, they would explode and die. Hearing this answer, Chen Jing looked at Liu Qinghen. Knowing what they wanted, you want to use my blood to research a serum, to make yourselves stronger. Lai Kang received a call, after learning that other countries had agreed to their orders. He laughed, haha. I didn't expect it to go so smoothly this time. It seems these people aren't suspicious at all. Lai Kang hung up the phone and laughed heartily. After all their orders were for food. These countries had no suspicions whatsoever. Moreover, they would definitely try their best to provide the meat from their inventories. As long as the quality of the meat wasn't too poor, he would take it. The Divine Dragon needed more meat. I hope he'll be satisfied with this meat. Soon, another phone rang. It was from the procurement department. They had already purchased 300 tons of meat domestically. Good. Immediately transport it to the living quarters. Chen Jing leisurely floated in midair. These days, he ate hundreds of tons of food daily. His body had already become incredibly massive. Chen Jing, 5-clawed Divine Dragon. Growth stage, 30,000 meters long. Weight, 450,000 T. Skills, Might of the Divine Dragon. Spatial Dragon Claw. Dragon Sensory Perception. Human Speech. Divine Dragon's Fury Flames. Dragon Scale Hardening. Summon Wind and Rain. Thunderous Might. Transmute Stone to Gold. Void Shuttle. Earth Resonance. Cycle of 4 Seasons. Evolution Points. 130,000. If he fully unleashed himself, his body could reach 30,000 meters. His weight would be 450,000 tons. He was an extremely terrifying creature. It's just that the evolution points gained were too few. Ordinary meat could no longer satisfy him. Just then, over 10 helicopters flew in from a distance. Each of them carried a large package, suspended below, filled with meat. The helicopters slowly lowered their packages, which automatically opened upon landing. Chunks of fresh meat spilled out as one batch of helicopters flew away. Another soon arrived. This went on, back and forth, for over 100 batches. All the helicopters delivered was meat. Looking at the mountains of meat on the ground, it was, as expected, several hundred more tons. Chen Jing opened his mouth and took a mighty inhale, sucking all the meat inside. Successful consumption increased 3,000 evolution points. Hundreds of tons of food only increased 3,000 evolution points, a meager amount. It was nothing compared to before. If it were the first day, it would probably have increased by tens of thousands. The faster he grew, and the larger his body became, the more energy he required. He had to find foods with high energy content. He had also asked Liu Qinghen and the others to look for them. They would probably bring some back today. Divine Dragon Darren. We've brought them back not long after. Liu Qinghen drove in with a team. There were boxes on the car. Upon opening them, they were all things containing high energy. 5,000-year-old ancient root. Contains extremely high energy. Edible. 3,000-year-old spiritual mushroom. Contains high energy. Edible. All were high-energy foods or fruits. There were 11 in total. Put them down, Chen Jing said indifferently. Liu Qinghen immediately had people move the wooden boxes down. With a thought from Chen Jing, the food inside the boxes automatically flew up. It all flew into his mouth, swallowed in one gulp. Successful consumption increased 15,000 evolution points. His dragon eyes flashed with golden light. His body grew larger again, but due to his divine ability, there was no visible change. Both his length and weight increased, and he gained a new skill, named Divine Dragon Frost. Good. Continue searching. These foods are very useful to me, Chen Jing said, looking at Liu Qinghen. Hearing this, Liu Qinghen smiled. It was her honor to make the Divine Dragon stronger. Understood. Divine Dragon Darren. We will definitely do our best to find them. Days passed one by one. There were 5 days left until the monsters appeared. The army delivered hundreds of tons of food every day. Liu Qinghen also led her family to search for high-energy foods. Chengqing's growth can be described as extremely rapid. It has already surpassed 170,000 evolution points, besides a significant increase in both size and weight. It also gained a new skill. Falling star. Something's not right, so an emergency meeting was convened today to have China step forward and explain. Lai Kang looked at the representatives from various countries. Remaining silent, he was wondering whether he should speak. After a moment of thought, he decided to tell the truth. It was up to these people whether they would believe him. Seeing as you've supported us with so many orders, I'll tell you, in 5 days, the end of the world will come. Be prepared to resist it. After dropping that sentence, Lai Kang left. He didn't need to say much more. Whether they believed it or not was up to these people. After Lai Kang left, everyone was surprised. They discussed animatedly. The end of the world. What the Chinese representative said is fake. China Research Institute, a group of scientists in white lab coats, were researching a type of serum with extremely high energy content. Suddenly, a loud shout rang out. It's done. I did it. The divine dragon serum has been developed. As soon as these words were spoken, other scientists quickly put down their work and rushed towards that person. They saw a test tube on that person's workbench. Inside was a golden serum. Is this the divine dragon serum? How's the cellular activity? Let us see quickly. It finally succeeded. 10 days of work. It didn't disappoint. We must conduct human trials as soon as possible. Once it can be used on humans, then every Chinese person will be like a dragon. Divine dragon serum. Our genetic research in China will break through historical barriers and make history, the scientists shouted excitedly. If this divine dragon serum is effective, then China, in genetic research, will surpass all other countries. Moreover, if this serum can be applied to humans and succeed, then once mass-produced, everyone will be like a dragon. After the results were out, someone immediately reported to Lai Kang. Hearing that the serum development was successful, Lai Kang immediately went to the research institute. When he saw the divine dragon serum, his excited expression could not be suppressed. Good. Excellent. The serum has finally been developed. Immediately convene human trials. For these human trials, we must have someone with an excellent physique. He was afraid that those with weaker physiques wouldn't be able to withstand it. Until evening, after multiple rounds of selection, one person was finally chosen. This person was an orphan, strong and robust, a very suitable candidate. In a laboratory, all the scientists gathered. There were also many soldiers. Lai Kang stood at the very front. Before him was a powerful, burly man, who was the test subject. Cheng Long. If you feel any discomfort, shout it out immediately. We will immediately terminate this experiment. Understood. Cheng Long stood at attention and shouted. Let's begin. With Lai Kang's command, the scientists stepped forward to help Cheng Long put on his equipment and restrain him within a metal chamber. Then, they closed the metal chamber. Prepare to release the serum's essence. Shout immediately if anything goes wrong. A scientist yelled loudly, then pulled a lever, releasing the serum's essence. The machine started, emitting a roaring sound. The essence of the divine dragon serum was immediately released inside the metal chamber. Lai Kang and the others stepped back a few paces. Suddenly, a loud shout came from inside. Everyone's hearts tightened. Lai Kang immediately shouted, "Stop immediately." The scientist responsible for the lever heard this and was about to stop immediately. "No, don't stop," Cheng Long inside shouted. "I feel fine." Hearing this, Lai Kang was stunned for a moment, but he had the scientist step back a few paces. The shouting from inside did not stop. Cheng Long kept shouting. It wasn't until a minute passed that the shouting slowly subsided. "Cheng Long, are you all right?" Lai Kang asked. Puzzled, there was no response from inside. This made Lai Kang's heart clench. Could something have gone wrong? "Stop immediately. Open the hatch," Lai Kang shouted. "Please. Nothing must go wrong." The scientist nodded, pulled the lever, and opened the hatch. As the hatch opened, a red gas erupted from inside. Soldiers wearing oxygen masks immediately surrounded Lai Kang, protecting him, ensuring his safety. The hatch slowly opened. Cheng Long lay inside, eyes tightly shut and unmoving. Everyone gasped. Did it fail? Unbind him, Lai Kang shouted. The scientists immediately complied, releasing Cheng Long from his restraints. But Cheng Long still didn't move. This startled Lai Kang. Other scientists were on tenterhooks. Could it be that the serum failed, or did Cheng Long not make it? Was his body overwhelmed by the terrifying energy of the serum? Just as Lai Kang was about to step forward to check, Cheng Long suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes actually emitted a golden light. "Protect General Lai," the soldiers said in unison, because those two words couldn't pass censorship. This was used as a substitute. All the soldiers stood in front of Lai Kang, watching Cheng Long warily, but the aura emanating from Cheng Long's entire body brought an immense sense of pressure, making them feel alarmed. Is this still the Cheng Long who just went? Or has he already turned into a monster? "Cheng Long, are you all right?" Lai Kang asked. Stepping forward, Cheng Long lowered his head, clenching his fists after feeling the unparalleled power within his body. He excitedly reported, General Lai, I'm fine hearing this. Lai Kang breathed a sigh of relief, then immediately became excited. This meant the divine dragon serum was effective. In an instant, all the scientists cheered enthusiastically. The divine dragon serum succeeded. It works, said Ahoha. Our efforts were not in vain. After everyone's excitement subsided, Lai Kang spoke. Immediately begin the tests. Let me see how strong a human transformed by this divine dragon serum truly is. Continuation of 158. Until midnight, a temporary testing ground that had been set up was revealed. This series of tests included strength, reaction ability, and resistance to impact. Among other tests, first was the strength test. Cheng Long had to punch with all his might. A boxing test. Begin, Lai Kang said. Cheng Long nodded and approached the boxing test machine. He threw a full-force punch. Asterisk smack, exclamation asterisk. The test machine instantly flew backward, crashing heavily onto the grass 10 meters away. It was already scrapped. Seeing this terrifying power, Lai Kang was dumbfounded. The others were even more astonished. Is this the power of the divine dragon serum? This is still a slightly diluted serum, yet it has already turned a mortal into a superman. How terrifying would the undiluted version be? Too terrifying. What truly shocked me is not the serum itself, but how truly powerful the divine dragon. The source of this serum is single drop of the divine dragon's blood can make humans so powerful. It itself must be even more terrifyingly powerful, truly worthy of being a divine dragon. It's too frightening. What truly astonished everyone was not the terrifying nature of the serum itself, but rather the owner of this serum, how terrifyingly powerful the divine dragon truly was. After all, serum diluted by a factor of 100 million could make an ordinary person so strong. Then the divine dragon itself must be twice this power. In the subsequent test, Cheng Long was terrifyingly strong in every aspect. Truly a superhuman. Lai Kang breathed a sigh of relief, extremely fortunate and excited. Fortunately, he believed Liu Qinghan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to obtain this divine dragon serum at all. The coming era will be an era where everyone is like a dragon. With the divine dragon present, the monsters won't be so terrifying. The future will be the era of Xianxia. It is Xianxia's honor and pride to have a divine dragon. Lai Kang shouted excitedly. Immediately, put all efforts into developing the divine dragon serum. As for more divine dragon blood, I will find a way. Since it has already succeeded, it means this experiment won't go wrong. Next, as long as it's mass-produced, then everyone can become like a dragon. As for the divine dragon's fresh blood, he could only personally go and plead with the divine dragon. Just in time, the tens of thousands of tons of food accumulated during this period could be put to good use. There are still 3 days until the monsters appear. In the waters of Melee Nation, a patrol boat was on patrol, but suddenly, the originally calm sea became turbulent. The surging waves almost capsized the boat. What's going on? The captain asked in horror, staff member responsible for monitoring the radar. Just as the voice from below finished speaking, a giant shark emerged from beneath the sea, leaped up, clamped its jaws onto the patrol boat, dragged it to the bottom of the sea, and vanished without a trace. It wasn't until 5 minutes later that the Ocean Control Center received a report of the patrol boat's disappearance. They quickly dispatched forces. When they arrived, the sea was already very calm. Just as they thought there was nothing, a giant shark flew out of the sea, bit the boat in one gulp, mimicking the previous time by dragging the boat to the seabed. Seeing this, the others were terrified and quickly rushed back to report to their superiors. The moment the military of Melee Nation learned that a monster had appeared in their waters, they immediately dispatched countless naval forces to encircle and annihilate the shark. They used countless gunfires and killed it. The moment that shark floated to the surface, countless people were amazed. It was a full 30 meters long, incredibly massive, and very frightening. What kind of monster is this? At the same time, besides Melee Nation, various massive animals appeared in other places. For example, giant lizards appeared in Asan Nation, giant brown bears in Xing Nation, and giant wolves in Waku Nation. Everything seemed to be developing in a bad direction. Military base. Lai Kang was preparing to take food to the living quarters to find the divine dragon. He then received a phone call. What? A 3-meter-tall tiger appeared in the eastern region. Lai Kang exclaimed in surprise. How can a tiger be 3 meters tall? Did it get pumped full of hormones or something? Could this be the so-called monster? But fortunately, that tiger has already been dealt with. Send it over immediately. Lai Kang spoke, straightening up. In childhood, the huge tiger's corpse was urgently sent over. It looked like an ordinary tiger, but the tiger, whose body was extremely huge, returned to the food. Back then you guys were frantically raising prices, counting money until your hands went numb. Now you want to take back the food. That's just wishful thinking. I said I'd consider it, so wait for my news. Lai Kang snorted coldly, turned off the screen, left the international conference, and immediately arranged a helicopter to Qin's Zoo. At Qin's Zoo, Liu Qinghan had just rushed back from the Dragon Room. Divine Dragon Lord, the military has appointed me as the administrator of the Monster Center. Liu Qinghan said with a smile. The last time he went to the meeting, Lai Kang had told him about this plan before he left. He thought it was feasible, but he didn't expect the other party to directly make him the administrator, in charge of everything at the Monster Center. The Monster Center, as the name suggests, was prepared for monsters. What he had to do was to prevent monsters that would appear in the future. However, he knew how to manage it, because on the 5th day after monsters appeared in his previous life, Xianxia had already established the Monster Center. It was just because of his rebirth that this center was established earlier. The Monster Center at that time was established to collect monster corpses and take them back for research, because monster genes were very powerful. If they could be used to develop a serum, it could allow humanity to evolve into superhumans. The Divine Dragon Serum was destined not to be suitable for everyone. Its energy was too powerful, but those from the monsters were different. Theirs were relatively weaker and could be adapted by everyone. That's great. I wish you success, Chen King said. During this period of interaction, he and Liu Qinghen had become friends. Although he was a dragon on the outside, he was human on the inside. It was quite normal for the two to become friends. Liu Qinghen would come to tell him every day. He just treated the daily deaths as stories to listen to. It was very interesting. I know what to do. Divine Dragon Lord. Liu Qinghen nodded. He was very happy to receive the Divine Dragon Lord's blessing. Asterisk whoosh. Whoosh asterisk. Just at this moment, a helicopter flew from afar, slowly landing. Lai Kang descended from it. General Lai, why are you here? Liu Qinghen was startled, walked over and asked, Director Liu, how has the Monster Center been recently? Lai Kang smiled. General Lai, you're joking. The Monster Center has been doing very well recently. I've already trained the Monster Cleanup Unit, Monster Collection Unit, and Monster Emergency Unit. A total of 3 units. The Monster Cleanup Unit, after killing a monster, brings the monster's corpse back to headquarters, then cleans up the battlefield, restoring it to its original state. The Monster Collection Unit, as the name suggests, collects various parts of the monster's body, as well as monster corpses scattered elsewhere, and monster genes, and takes them to the Research Institute for study. The Emergency Unit, once a monster appears, will immediately deploy, evacuate the public, and protect them against the monsters. After he told Lai Kang all this, the latter was somewhat surprised. I didn't expect you to have made it so complete. It is Xianxia's honor to have you. You flatter me. These are all things we will develop in the future. I merely brought them forward. That's good too. You don't have to grope around blindly ourselves. With such a reborn person, being able to grasp the future is fortunate for them. If it weren't for Liu Qinghen, they still wouldn't know that monsters were about to appear. Oh right. A big event happened today. Did the monsters appear earlier? Lai Kang recounted the day's events. After listening, Liu Qinghen was stunned. In his previous life, he had never heard of such a thing. But after thinking about it, perhaps in his previous life, the country, in order not to cause panic, suppressed the news and hid it. So they didn't know. But times were different now. He was the administrator of the Monster Center and had the right to know about this matter. I don't know, but it should have nothing to do with monsters. Liu Qinghen shook his head, and Lai Kang was startled. There were even things Liu Qinghen didn't know. But the next second, the one who had been silent, Chen King, spoke. Perhaps he knew classical Chinese. The two immediately looked up at Chen King. Lai Kang asked, Divine Dragon Lord, what's going on? Those animals might have eaten food containing high energy, which made them stronger. It has nothing to do with monsters. Chen King said, only high-energy food can make animals grow larger. Nothing else. And listening to Lai Kang, they are all animals, which means his guess is correct. As for why they were all discovered only today, I don't know. Then, Divine Dragon Lord, do these animals also contain high energy? Lai Kang pondered for a moment. Do you need me to get them for you? Upon hearing this, Chen King's eyes lit up. This was a good idea. These animals ate that food. The energy contained within them must be high, far superior to ordinary meat. Chen King then spoke. If you mash them all up, I can give you another drop of fresh blood. Chen King knew why Lai Kang had come. It couldn't be for the animals. Moreover, he had heard Liu Qinghen a few days prior say that the serum had already been successfully developed, so he guessed what Lai Kang had come for this time. It was for his blood, as expected of Lord Divine Dragon. You guessed my intention. Lai Kang's heart skipped a beat. He bowed his head in fear and said, Divine Dragon is truly a divine dragon. You know everything he came here to do. It's terrifying. Soon, his mind cleared. As long as he got the food, the Divine Dragon would give him fresh blood. This is easy. Don't they need food over there? Just take half of that 1,000 tons of food and distribute it. That should be enough. He believed those people would definitely go along with it. General Lai, has the Divine Dragon Serum all been developed? Liu Qinghen looked at Lai Kang and asked. He wasn't privy to the progress. Through our unremitting efforts, we have formulated the best serum. The human limit is 100 doses of diluted serum combined. Stronger individuals can take 200 doses. The first test subject, Qinglong, has already been injected with 200 doses. He is now terrifyingly strong. He is the first superhuman. They compared him with America's Captain America from the movies. They found him to be even more formidable than the described captain. Things like pulling a helicopter barehanded or lifting a tank can be done with extreme ease. The Divine Dragon can even use his physical body to block a pistol bullet, stronger rifle bullets. However, would not fare as well. He would get injured, since they are humans modified by the divine dragon serum. They have named them divine dragon humans. Hearing this result, Liu Qinghan smiled and said, "That's good. In the future, every human will be as mighty as a dragon, no longer afraid of monsters." This is a good result. We must thank the divine dragon. After speaking, Lai Kang bowed to Chengqing. After looking up, he said, "Lord Divine Dragon, I will go and get those corpses for you. However, the prerequisite is that we must share food with them, all right." Chengqing nodded. Ordinary food is no longer useful. It adds too few evolution points. What he wants is more high-energy food. Before Lai Kang left, Chengqing gave him a drop of fresh blood. Lai Kang promised to bring the corpses tomorrow. One drop of fresh blood could create another divine dragon human, or a million super divine dragon humans. The current main goal is to transform the entire military into divine dragon humans. Later, when it can be mass-produced, they would then transform all of humanity. Everyone like a dragon was not just empty talk. Only 2 days remained until the monsters appeared. This morning, Lai Kang sent people to retrieve the various countries, giant animal corpses, and they were all delivered. Some were already decomposed, but decomposition was no problem for Chengqing's divine dragon body. It was not a problem at all. He swallowed them all in one gulp. Feeding successful. 23,000 evolution points gained. In an instant, his body grew a little larger again, and he unlocked a new skill, named animism. By simply calming his mind, he could listen to the new life of all things, be it flowers, grass, trees, or creatures of the sea, land, and air. He could hear them all, but what use was this skill to him? It could only be used to listen to new life returning and rising again. Lord Divine Dragon, the military's newly developed weapon. They would like to invite you to test it. If it's not possible, then forget it, Liu Qinghan said. Upon hearing this, Chengqing paused and asked, "What is that?" "They just want to invite you to be a target for a bit." Liu Qinghan was a little embarrassed after learning 10 days ago that monsters were about to appear. Lai Kang led a team to develop new weapons. According to Liu Qinghan's description, the monsters that would appear in the future were all thick-skinned and tough-fleshed, based on the skin hardness of the man-eating monster. They developed new bullets and weapons, capable of penetrating 80-centimeter thick steel plates. As of today, they have developed weapons that can penetrate 120-centimeter thick steel plates. These can perfectly kill man-eating monsters, but they wanted to invite the mighty divine dragon to be a target for a while. At first, Liu Qinghan thought this was impossible. It would be an offense to the divine dragon, but Lai Kang and the others all urged him to ask, so he could only bite the bullet and come over to ask. All right, Chengqing nodded. He also happened to want to know exactly how strong he currently was, and if he could withstand the military's conventional weapons. No way. Liu Qinghan suddenly looked up, staring wide-eyed at the divine dragon. He said yes. He hadn't expected Lord Divine Dragon to actually agree. It was quite unexpected. Where should we conduct the experiment? Chengqing said, "Let's go to the border." "Wait, I'll make a call and inform General Lai." Liu Qinghan quickly called Lai Kang. The latter, upon learning that the Divine Dragon had agreed, was both shocked and delighted. He immediately said he would prepare and send someone to pick up Liu Qinghan. "Lord Divine Dragon, please wait for Lai Kang to send someone to pick me up. Then we can depart, no need." "I'll take you," Chengqing said calmly. He opened his dragon claw. The claw, glittering with golden light and imbued with a subtle pressure, gently grasped Liu Qinghan, but without using force, fearing Liu Qinghan would be crushed into paste. He held Liu Qinghan and slowly ascended. Liu Qinghan watched himself slowly rising from the ground and excitedly cried out, "This is too exciting." He was actually being held in the hand of Lord Divine Dragon. This was his first experience of its kind. This feeling was thrilling, wonderful, and incredibly exhilarating. Listening to Liu Qinghan continuously screaming below, Chengqing said, "Hold on tight." Liu Qinghan quickly grabbed the dragon's claw with both hands, feeling the skin texture on it. He felt it was incredibly wondrous, but soon he realized something was amiss. "But Lord Divine Dragon, we don't know the location. No need to circle China. We'll find it naturally." But before that, Chengqing spat out a golden container, which enveloped Liu Qinghan to prevent him from being swept away by strong air currents. In an instant, Chengqing, holding Liu Qinghan, soared rapidly through the sky. His body slowly grew larger. 1,000 meters, 10,000 meters, 20,000 meters, 30,000 meters, 40,000 meters, until finally 70,000. 70,000-meter long golden divine dragon soared through the blue sky with white clouds. It was hard not to attract attention. "It's the divine dragon. It's the divine dragon. He came out of the zoo. How magnificent. What a long body. Lord Divine Dragon, please bless me with great wealth." "A miracle? This is definitely a miracle. The divine dragon is so cool. Mom, I saw a dragon. I truly am a descendant of the dragon." Each person who saw the divine dragon knelt down by the roadside, gazing at it with devout reverence, kneeling and kowtowing, the divine dragon appearing in the world. This is too magnificent. This was the most magnificent miracle they would ever see in their lives. Every time it passed a place, a city, anyone who saw the divine dragon felt a shock in their heart. They naturally wanted to submit. The biggest reason was their psychological conditioning. Because many people, since childhood, had heard myths and legends of dragons. They believed dragons were deities, and that those who saw a dragon would have their wishes granted. Moreover, in many stories, dragons are depicted as extremely powerful beings. If they could appear in the world, they would undoubtedly be the strongest creatures. Furthermore, the dragon's might emanating from Xianxia was not restrained, even though he was 1,000 meters up in the sky. His dragons might still spread to the ground, caused countless people to feel fear, wanting to be at his mercy. The divine dragon appeared in the world, leaving countless photos and videos in the world. Almost the entire nation saw the divine dragon. It immediately topped the trending searches. Many people who hadn't believed in the divine dragon, after they witnessed it with their own eyes, only then truly believed that divine dragons truly exist in this world. Liu Qinghan looked at the countless people kneeling below. A wave of emotion welled up in her heart, looking at the people below from the divine dragon's perspective. Only then did she realize how tiny humans were in the divine dragon's eyes. As tiny as ants, just like those monsters, humans are too insignificant. This made her even more determined. She must lead humanity to resist the monsters, to survive, grow, and strengthen in the chaotic times to come. Unsure how long they had flown, King Chen saw Lai Kang at the border, bringing Liu Qinghan. Quickly approaching the military base belonging to the border, radar detected an unidentified giant creature rapidly approaching. All the soldiers were terrified. Just as they were about to launch anti-aircraft missiles, the creature actually slowly shrank. Meanwhile, Lai Kang and others on the open ground also felt a terrifying sense of oppression. They looked up and saw the 100-meter-long divine dragon, grabbing Liu Qinghan, rapidly descending. All the soldiers breathed a sigh of relief after seeing clearly that it was the divine dragon. General, an unidentified creature is attacking. Requesting attack orders, don't attack. It's the divine dragon. Don't attack. It's the divine dragon. Lai Kang quickly shouted. This is the divine dragon. How can you just attack it casually? What if we anger it? Soon, King Chen landed with Liu Qinghan. Liu Qinghan landed steadily. Looking at Lai Kang, she said, General Lai, apologies for not telling you in advance. I just sent someone to pick you up. I didn't expect you'd come with the divine dragon. Lai Kang looked at Liu Qinghan with some envy. To be able to be carried by the divine dragon and soar through the skies. How exhilarating that must be. What's wrong, General Lai? Do you also wish to be carried by the divine dragon and soar? Liu Qinghan smiled and said, but King Chen calmly spoke. Before Lai Kang could even react, he was instantly snatched into midair and instantly vanished from everyone's sight. Not until 5 minutes later did he return, panting heavily. Too exciting. My old heart almost couldn't take it. Although it was scary, but it was too thrilling. It was great after Lai Kang had rested sufficiently. The preparations were also complete. He looked at the divine dragon. Lord Divine Dragon, shall we begin? King Chen, however, hovered above an open space, while Lai Kang and the others had already retreated 100 meters away. Only tens of thousands of soldiers, and more than 10 missile launchers, and 20 tanks. They all aimed at King Chen. This test was very simple. That is, all weapons would attack King Chen at the same time, to test the offensive power of these weapons, and King Chen's defensive capabilities. Nothing should happen. Right, Lai Kang said with some worry. Don't worry, I just asked the divine dragon. He said to attack freely. He is invincible. Then I'm relieved. Lai Kang nodded. Since the divine dragon proclaimed itself invincible, what the hell was he worried about? All units, prepare. I'll count to 3. Then order fire. Lai Kang picked up the walkie-talkie and spoke coldly. Responses from various soldiers came through the walkie-talkies. As long as he gave the order, all weapons and missile launchers would open fire. 3 seconds later, Lai Kang shouted, fire, with a single command. Everyone pulled their triggers. Tanks fired shells. Missile launchers launched missiles. In an instant, countless bullets raged towards King Chen like fiery snakes. Surging forward, missile after missile, shells, carrying raging flames, bombarded King Chen. Bang, bang, bang. The sounds of battle exploded, deafening even Lai Kang and the others. 100 meters away, could hear the thunderous artillery fire shaking the sky. They quickly covered their ears. Endless artillery fire bombarded King Chen. Immediately, thick smoke billowed, and black mist spread across the sky, preventing everyone from seeing what was happening inside, until all the bullets had been expended, and the missiles and shells abruptly stopped. Only then did everyone look over. Liu Qinghan still looked at the black smoke worriedly. The divine dragon won't be harmed. Right, but it's the divine dragon. It won't be harmed. Will it? Lai Kang said worriedly. Soldier after soldier eagerly looked on. The divine dragon, could it really not withstand so many bullets and shells? Those soldiers responsible for firing all looked up at the sky, trying to find traces of the divine dragon. Suddenly, a gust of strong wind blew past, scattering the black smoke, revealing the glittering, scale-covered dragon, the 100-meter giant dragon, full of divine might, completely unharmed. Not even its initial posture had changed in the slightest. The crowd immediately cheered. The divine dragon is fine, as expected of the divine dragon. After so many bullets and shells, it's completely unharmed, completely unscathed. Divine dragon is awesome. Is this the divine dragon? Then how terrifying must the future monsters be? What the hell is there to be afraid of? We have the Divine Dragon. China is safe. Seeing that the Divine Dragon was fine, Liu Qinghan excitedly shouted, "That's great, Lord Divine Dragon." Lai Kang and the group of scientists who developed the new bullets took a sharp intake of breath. It's too terrifying. Those bullets, they can even penetrate 100-centimeter thick steel plates. Yet it's completely unharmed. I looked at its scales with a telescope. There wasn't even a bullet mark, completely unable to harm it. Currently, all conventional weapons are ineffective against the Divine Dragon. Perhaps only nuclear weapons could work. Indeed, if even nuclear weapons are useless, then the Divine Dragon is truly invincible. What if the Divine Dragon is growing every day? It will be invincible sooner or later. No matter what, the Divine Dragon belongs to our Wuxia, as long as we don't become its enemy. With it, Wuxia will surely grow stronger. Everyone felt both fortunate and excited. What they were fortunate about was that such a terrifying creature belonged to their Wuxia, and not to other countries. What they were excited about was that their Wuxia could have such a terrifying Divine Dragon. They would surely survive the future crises and move towards a more distant future. Soon, King Chen shrank its body and came before everyone. Lai Kang quickly asked, "Lord Divine Dragon, what do you think of the destructive power of these weapons?" "They are all right. Although for me, it's just a tickle, but for those monsters, they can cause considerable damage." King Chen said, "The feeling just now was like raindrops hitting my body, because its scales are extremely hard. Plus, it gained the skill of scale hardening, making the hardness of its entire body's scales double or triple. But to be able to make it feel something is already quite good. This indicates that these bullets are indeed effective." Hearing the Divine Dragon's words, everyone was extremely excited. These days were not wasted. Their current research and development path is very correct. In the future, we can use parts of the monsters' bodies or their teeth to create bullets. These are even harder. Liu Qinghan expressed her opinion. In the future, the country did indeed develop monster bullets that could penetrate monsters, but at that time, the Divine Dragon was besieged and killed. The country also faced many monster invasions and eventually perished. This matter, she would not let the tragedy of her previous life happen again. Hearing Liu Qinghan's words, Lai Kang nodded. From now on, we'll listen to Director Liu. Once the monsters appear, we will use their hardest parts to craft bullets." Everyone nodded in agreement. Everyone thought this could be implemented, since there was nothing to do. They returned. Chen King spoke lightly, then looked at Liu Qinghan. Lai Kang quickly said, "Lord Shenlong, I need to talk to Liu Qinghan about something." Chen King nodded slightly, used its dragon claws to tear open the space in front of it, revealing a void rift, and entered the void space, disappearing without a trace. Seeing this divine feat, the crowd gasped in amazement once more. The Divine Dragon's methods are truly terrifying. It can even tear through space. Afterwards, Lai Kang and Liu Qinghan came to a deserted place. It's time to tell the whole nation. Monsters are about to appear. Lai Kang spoke solemnly. Liu Qinghan's heart trembled. Will they believe it? I'm not sure. But the current situation is not optimistic. In the past 3 days, we've discovered over 10 more man-eating monsters. Their appearances are becoming more frequent. There might be more tonight. These monsters often eat more people than large monsters. They are skilled at finding and eating people, and they prefer to eat other monsters. Whenever a monster dies, they always appear immediately. Liu Qinghan spoke solemnly. What people fear most are the man-eating monsters, because they are everywhere. They hide in the dark and deliver a fatal bite. There are only 2 days left. We must get people ready. Moreover, the appearance of the Divine Dragon has already made many people suspicious. Has something big happened? The Divine Dragon's appearance made many realize something. Smart people all believe that something big will happen in the future. Only those who are foolish or irresponsible won't care. Anyway, people have already experienced so much shock. Another big piece of news won't change much. All right, then let's tell the whole nation. Lai Kang nodded. An hour later, the news released by Wuxia Military Network quickly topped the trending searches on all domestic platforms, causing countless people to be greatly surprised. But more people had expected it. Only 2 days left. Monsters are about to appear. All citizens, please prepare food to prevent riots in the cities, on the streets, in every household. Anyone scrolling on their phone could see the news notification. Go stock up on supplies quickly. Holy crap. I was just at the convenience store. Suddenly, I saw a group of people rush in, scrambling for snacks, instant noodles, and drinks. I was stunned. Later, I found out the end of the world was coming. I only managed to grab 1 bucket of instant noodles. It's over. The convenience store downstairs is already packed. All the surrounding convenience stores must be like this. I'm too late. Why didn't they say something sooner? There are still 2 days left. Rushing out the door, he saw his parents still watching TV. Mom, Dad, quickly, come with me to buy food. Monsters are coming. Hearing their son's words, the old couple was startled. The old mother smiled. Silly child, have you gone crazy from looking at your phone too much? There's no such thing as monsters. Those are all fake. The old father spoke coldly. I told you not to stay up all night looking at your phone. Finding a job quickly is the most important thing. isn't it? But there really are monsters. The government has even announced it, Ma Dong said anxiously. Mom and Dad don't use smartphones much, so they probably don't know the news. Now is not the time to explain. If we don't go buy supplies now, everything will be gone. Nonsense. There are no monsters. Get back to your room, the strict father scolded. But no sooner had he spoken, the news reports came from the TV. This is breaking news. Our station has learned that monsters will appear in 2 days. All citizens are requested to prepare supplies. Stay at home and do not go out after 2 days. The 3 people watched the TV. The parents were bewildered. How come there's today's news during the day? And what was that about monsters just now? Right, I wasn't joking. Quick. Come out with me to buy things. Ma Dong quickly pulled his parents and rushed out the door. Arriving downstairs, the 3 of them were dumbfounded. Every household had already gone out. The small shop downstairs was even more overcrowded. They ran to the streets outside to buy, but not a single store was empty. Some stores even closed immediately upon hearing the news. Many people were smart. In the future, once monsters appear, money might become the most useless thing. In the apocalypse, supplies are the most important. Whoever has supplies is king. This scene was playing out across the entire country. Some, not understanding, stayed at home, oblivious to what was happening outside. Some were elderly and didn't know how to use smartphones. Some had already started looting supplies. As time passed, the situation worsened. Those who couldn't buy supplies started to snatch them. But soon, the authorities intervened. Large numbers of patrol teams appeared on the streets, maintaining order. No looting of supplies. No greed. Do not harm others for personal gain. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. If looting occurred, the patrol teams would immediately take action. Moreover, Lai Kang had long thought of a solution and used advertising vehicles to spread the information everywhere. He also sent people to remote wilderness areas or secluded, sparsely populated places to spread the word. The purpose was to let everyone in the country know about the impending appearance of monsters, to ensure everyone had enough supplies to survive for a few days. This was all he could do, because only 2 days remained. Humanity could not change anything. Even if humanity knew far in advance, they couldn't do much. Humans were too insignificant. All they could do was survive, and wait for the mass production of the divine dragon serum. That would be humanity's new era. For now, they could only rely on their own fate and the divine dragon. When everyone in the world knew that monsters would appear in the future and that only 2 days remained, panic spread in the US, Japan, Taodaoguo, and hundreds of other countries. Riots broke out everywhere. There was only one reason: looting supplies, especially in countries with lax gun control. Murder and arson were rampant. For example, in the US, it was just like the games they developed. Cities plunged into chaos. That night, in the conference room of the Dragon City military base, Lai Kang sat in the main seat, scanning the crowd. Liu Qinghen was also among them. Now, the entire nation knows that monsters are about to appear. What we need to do is evacuate the people of Qin City tomorrow. Lai Kang spoke solemnly. A few days ago, Liu Qinghen had said that the first monster would appear in Qin City. Director Liu, what is the exact time the monster will appear? Lai Kang asked, looking at Liu Qinghen. Liu Qinghen furrowed her brow slightly, trying to recall the situation that day. Today is Thursday, the day after tomorrow. Saturday, I remember it was Sunday, at 10 a.m. At that time, I was out with my best friend, and then that monster burrowed up from underground. Later, at a critical moment, Lord Shenlong saved me. The location was near the zoo. All right. Understood. So, around 10 a.m. on Sunday, the monster will appear. Have the Seismological Bureau constantly monitor the situation in Qin City. Since it came from underground, then it can be detected. Even the smallest tremor will leave clues. Lai Kang spoke solemnly. The Dragon General immediately nodded. Yes, I will inform the Seismological Bureau shortly. The true first monster did not appear in our Huixia, but in the US. Liu Qinghen spoke solemnly. That was a few days after the monsters appeared in my previous life. Only then did they know. Monsters appeared in America 5 hours earlier, and they secretly covered up this matter. They sealed it off, without telling anyone, until the monsters were fully exposed. Only then did they choose to speak out. And they also exposed a shocking secret. That is, America had actually developed Metch a long time ago. Haha. America has always been like this, Lai Kang said coldly. Unexpectedly, these guys actually knew about the monster appearance in advance, and didn't tell anyone else. Then what he did before was also right. Before, Lai Kang also didn't immediately inform other countries, but waited until his own side was ready to dominate the world. Huixia Criminal Zoo. Divine Dragon Cheng King. The corpses of 10 man-eating monsters you requested have all been delivered. A soldier reported. After lowering the corpses from the helicopter, he then boarded the helicopter and left. Cheng King, hovering in midair, looked at the 4 strange-looking and terrifying corpses on the ground. He actually felt his appetite grow. He really wanted to devour them. He opened his dragon maw and powerfully inhaled. After sucking all the man-eating monster corpses in, he immediately felt a surge of immense energy. Successful feeding. 40,000 evolution points gained. Instantly, His body grew larger again. His weight also increased. His dragon horns grew a bit longer, becoming more refined and distinct. Most importantly, he vaguely felt something in his third dragon claw. With a few more evolution points, he would surely grow a third dragon claw. And this time, he also gained a new skill, named Myriad Manifestations of Nature. It can control all flowers, grasses, and trees for attack, control, and defense. In a forest, he would be the king of the forest. After eating, King felt a sense of clarity, just as he had thought. Monsters contained high energy. A long time ago, he had already considered whether monsters might contain even higher energy. So, he had Liu Qinghan help him retrieve these corpses. He didn't expect that just one man-eating monster's corpse could increase 10,000 essence points. He still wanted to eat more. So, with a thought, he vanished into the void, leaving the zoo, beginning to travel around the world to see if he could find any more man-eating monsters. The Indian desert. This is India's territory. It was already night. A group of Indians were riding camels across the desert, preparing to go home. But suddenly, the camels stopped. They all stopped in unison and began to shriek wildly. Their emotions became extremely agitated. They actually threw the Indians off their backs one by one, then ran off into the distance. Damn it! What's wrong with these beasts? Since they've abandoned us here, it's still 10 kilometers back home. If we walk back, we'll be walking until dawn. When I find these beasts, I'll definitely kill them all and eat them clean. The Indians watched the camels run far away, cursing angrily. Monsters! There are monsters! Suddenly, a woman collapsed onto the ground, then pointed into the distance and shouted. Because it was night, they could only illuminate their surroundings with the oil lamps in their hands, or torches. India was relatively poor. They couldn't afford the luxury of flashlights. The crowd raised their oil lamps or torches, shining them in the direction the woman was pointing. They saw tall figures, resembling humans. But the next second, those so-called humans, their heads actually bloomed open like flowers, dancing wildly in midair, eerie and terrifying. Ghost! Monsters! The crowd screamed in terror. In an instant, the man-eating monsters charged towards the Indians. Their heads split into four, instantly binding one Indian, slowly dragging him. No, the Indian frantically clawed at the sand, but the powerful force kept dragging him. Helpless, the other Indians were terrified, but none could escape the man-eating monster's clutches. They were caught one by one and slowly dragged away. Just as these Indians were in despair, the sky suddenly became overcast with dark clouds. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. Rumbles of thunder. Fierce winds picked up, accompanied by thunder and rain, as if a super typhoon of level 10 plus was striking, blowing sand into a frenzy. The calm desert instantly turned into a sandstorm, and within those thunderclouds, something seemed to exist. A gigantic body was moving. In an instant, the tree-branch man-eating monsters suddenly knelt down. Only then were those Indians able to break free. The sky. There's something in the sky, an Indian screamed in terror, pointing at the sky. Everyone looked up at the sky. Through the crackling, flashing lightning, a colossal creature could be seen in the thunderclouds. Suddenly, a pair of golden glowing pupils were reflected in the thunderclouds. That supreme sense of oppression made several Indians instantly fall to their knees, their bodies trembling, filled with extreme dread. These few monsters came, and now a big monster has come too. The man-eating monsters on the ground looked up at the thunderclouds, emitting strange, eerie cries. They sounded a bit like mouse squeaks, with anger and fear mixed in their tone. They were afraid of the entity in the thunderclouds. Finally found you. From within the thunderclouds, majestic voice suddenly resounded, exploding in the hearts of the Indians, as if a deity had spoken with divine ease. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, streaks of lightning descended from the sky, piercing through the tree-branch man-eating monsters. The thunder was deafening. The lightning was dazzling. The few Indians were dumbfounded, terrified and shocked. Those man-eating monsters were instantly struck dead. The sandstorm on sight became even more ferocious, blinding the few Indians, who couldn't open their eyes. But soon, everything around them seemed to calm down. When they opened their eyes, the thunderclouds had vanished, and those man-eating monsters were also nowhere to be seen. God! It must be a deity who saved us. Heaven bless India. I can't believe there's a deity here in our land. Haha. We don't need to fear future monster crises. We have the mysterious lord. The Indians knelt and kowtowed one by one. Overjoyed, they regarded King as a local deity who had come to save their nation. India, little did they know, King was merely passing by, looking for food. In the middle of the night, Lai Kang hadn't yet fallen asleep, and he was informed to join an emergency international online conference. After entering the remote conference room, he found out it was India that called the meeting. What's the meaning of this? Why did the Indian representative suddenly call a meeting? We are very busy. We have a ton of things to deal with. Are you guys just sitting around with nothing to do? It's the middle of the night. Lai Kang remained silent. Everyone was condemning the Indian representative. No. Monsters have appeared, the Indian representative said in terror. As soon as these words were spoken, there was instant silence. Everyone widened their eyes in surprise. Lai Kang also became alert immediately. Isn't it still 2 days away? And Liu Qinghan said that the world's first monster would appear in America. How is this possible? Lai Kang said coldly. Firstly, it's impossible for us to accurately grasp the exact time of monster appearances. I kindly informed you, yet you bite back at me. Indian representative, are you sure you saw monsters? Could you describe what they looked like? Lai Kang frowned as he looked at the Indian representative. Then the Indian representative recounted how not long ago, someone had discovered a deity and told everyone about it. Everyone was greatly shaken after hearing it. There were actually more than just one monster resembling humans. Heads cannot burst open like flowers. They can even use their heads to control humans, dragging them away and eating them. What kind of terrifying creature is this? The other one was even more shocked. It can summon wind and rain, and it's incredibly massive. It can even use lightning to kill other monsters, and it hasn't even shown itself yet. Yet an immense pressure was already felt. Such a monster, if it appeared in a city, how much damage would it cause? You're saying that massive monster is somewhat similar to a snake? Lai Kang asked, puzzled. Why? Upon hearing the words of the Indian representative, did he feel a sense of familiarity? And adding to that, today, Liu Qinghan asked him for the corpse of the man-eating monster, saying that Lord Divine Dragon wanted to eat it, so he gave it to the Indian representative. The monster described earlier was clearly a man-eating monster. Then the one mentioned later couldn't be Lord Divine Dragon. Could it? Yes. It's very similar. Its body is long. In short, it's terrifying, the Indian representative. Chen Sheng said gravely. Lai Kang remained silent. He felt there was a high probability it was Lord Divine Dragon. Later, he'd have to make a call to a certain country. Major powers would be fine, but smaller nations simply couldn't produce so much of these things. 10,000 tons of nuclear material is already enough to build 3 nuclear weapons. Our Waku nation only has a total of 40,000 tons of nuclear material. The thing is, our Tutu nation combined only has 25,000 tons of nuclear material. You're taking more than half in one go. In rare metals like alloys, we only have a little over 2,000 tons. Have you considered the feelings of my Asan nation? Nothing is enough. Our Bear nation has enough alloys, but only 20,000 tons of nuclear material. If we gave half, then we owe. I'm not forcing you. After saying that, William exited the online meeting. Everyone was stunned and started discussing animatedly. Seeing this, Lai Kang also exited the online meeting. The beautiful nation has already started recruiting troops and gathering resources. Once their Metch are deployed, it won't be long before someone agrees to the terms. What if the conditions are even more demanding? Being able to save the country is what matters most. After leaving the online meeting, Lai Kang called Liu Qinghan of the Qin Corporation. Coincidentally, Liu Qinghan was at the zoo at this moment. He had been living at the zoo during this period. This was the safest place. You're saying Lord Divine Dragon went to the Asan nation and was treated as a local deity? Liu Qinghan replied, it's possible. You go ask Lord Divine Dragon. If it wasn't him, then it's highly possible that monsters have already appeared in the Asan nation. Lai Kang said, all right, I'll go ask. Not long after, Liu Qinghan arrived at Qingshan's habitat. Qingshan was sleeping, his body shrunken and suspended in the. He sensed someone approaching, opening his dragon eyes. He saw Liu Qinghan. If you're here to ask what happened in the Asan nation was my doing. Before Liu Qinghan could speak, Qingshan spoke first. Liu Qinghan was startled. She then told him about the Asan nation and how they were treating him as a deity. Qingshan was somewhat speechless. As far as I know, in the Al Mountains in the west, a man-eating monster wormhole will appear in a few days. Man-eating monsters will continuously emerge from it. Lord Divine Dragon can go check it out then. Hearing this, Qingshan's eyes lit up. He almost forgot that Liu Qinghan was a reborn individual. She knew information about the future. Then he could rely on her information to accurately locate monsters and then eat them to increase his evolution points. Okay, tomorrow, I will have all the accumulated food delivered. Lord Divine Dragon can have a feast then. Liu Qinghan smiled. Those foods total 20,000 tons. Qingshan nodded slightly and continued to close his dragon eyes. Ordinary food no longer held any appeal for him. 20,000 tons of food could only increase his evolution points by 10 to 20,000, far less than a few man-eating monsters. 3 hours ago, he ate 5 man-eating monsters. His third dragon claw had already grown halfway. Soon, he would have 3 claws. By then, his strength would double again, taking another step closer to becoming a 5-clawed divine dragon in its complete form. 1 day away. Monster appearance. Only the last day remains. After today, monsters will appear one after another starting tomorrow. This day, Xianxia entered its busiest day. People nationwide were stockpiling more supplies. Some had already left major cities and moved to remote areas. They believed that when monsters appeared, the first thing they would definitely do is go to big cities to destroy or eat people. Perhaps in the more remote wilderness, it wouldn't be as easy to encounter monsters. The wealthy had already piloted their yachts and headed out to sea. Compared to land, they believed the sea was safer. People all over the world were preparing. Lai Kang was also preparing. At this time, Qin's residents had long been evacuated. The vast majority of people were arranged in the neighboring city. The army, last night, had already successively moved into Qin's residence and were stationed in various locations, but most were concentrated around the zoo. Because Liu Qinghan had said monsters would appear around the zoo. Liu Qinghan, do you think monsters will really appear at Qin's? Lai Kang asked, looking at Liu Qinghan. Although Liu Qinghan was somewhat wavering, she still nodded. As far as I know, the first monster indeed appeared at Kin's, but I'm not sure if my rebirth will cause a butterfly effect. Last night, the beautiful nation announced their Metch ahead of schedule. This is already a butterfly effect. You know, in the future, the beautiful nation wouldn't have revealed them for a long time. In the previous life, it might have been because everyone didn't know about the monsters, so they concealed it, but now everyone knows, so they cooperated in advance. However, the cooperation hasn't changed. In the previous life, other countries also cooperated with the beautiful nation later on. The first country to cooperate was the Tutu nation. I heard they gave half of their national supplies, plus other conditions to reach the cooperation. The second was the Waku nation, followed by various other countries. Only Xianxia did not cooperate, because at that time, there was a divine dragon. Xianxia did not cooperate with the beautiful nation. Later, it was also confirmed that cooperation was useless as monsters became stronger and stronger. The beautiful nation's Metch soon became useless. They only had some effect in the early stages. All right, I believe you. Then let's get ready. Monsters will appear tomorrow at 10 a.m. Lai Kang said gravely, as he thought of monsters appearing tomorrow. Lai Kang felt a little excited inside. A new era was coming. Xianxia would definitely, in the new era, become the strongest nation. Tonight, over in the beautiful nation, the world's first monster will appear. If there's no butterfly effect, they will resolve it. Liu Qinghan nodded, but the beautiful nation will definitely use this great victory to make other countries cooperate. Those countries, seeing the beautiful nation's success, will surely be tempted. From what I know of the beautiful nation, if they cooperate, they might take advantage of the chaos to act. He revealed a cold smile. But we have Lord Divine Dragon. If those people want to destroy Xianxia, they will surely pay a heavy price. By the way, have the 20,000 tons of food been delivered? Lai Kang asked. It has already been eaten by Lord Divine Dragon. He was very satisfied. That's good. Does Lord Divine Dragon know that monsters will appear tomorrow? He knows. He said he would protect us. First, he wants us to take the first shot. If we can't solve it, then he'll make his move good. With Lord Divine Dragon's words, I'm relieved. Having the Divine Dragon makes us feel so safe. Then tomorrow they can go all out to let those monsters know what the terror of Xianxia is. Will the first monster appear in Vitality Night? As time passed, a trending search suddenly appeared online. Someone had actually guessed that monsters would appear in the dorms. I saw the military stationed in the dorms. Could it be that monsters will appear there? I'm a dorm resident. The Liu group booked all hotels in the surrounding cities, as well as all transportation for us to use. Everyone has left the dorms. Only some fools haven't left yet. Really? Then it seems monsters will appear in the dorms. But why are there still people not leaving? Just a bunch of fools. I heard they'll only leave if they're paid. That's outrageous. At a time like this, they still want money. Are they not afraid to die? Some people also didn't believe monsters would appear in the dorms. If not there, why would the military go to such great lengths to guard it? Due to the large-scale deployment of troops to the dorms, the people nationwide felt something was wrong. Why not so many other cities, but specifically the dorms? Then it's very clear. It's highly likely that monsters will appear in the dorms, although it's unknown how the military knew in advance. But this made many people feel at ease. This way, at least there wouldn't be too many casualties, but some media reporters caught wind of it. Perhaps this was a chance to make a name for themselves. Kin's, 4 p.m., Lai Kang led people on patrol at Kin's, suddenly received a report from a soldier. Many media reporters came seeking cooperation. They all wanted to livestream the entire process of the military eliminating the monsters. This made Lai Kang feel both surprised and impressed. These people, for a chance to make a name for themselves, could even be fearless of death. They were too courageous. However, he needed to consider this livestream, so he used this opportunity to convene an online meeting, inviting the various dragon generals to participate, to discuss in detail whether or not to livestream. As Liu Qinghan was the last to enter, the meeting began. Everyone, this time, let's discuss whether or not we should livestream the entire process of killing the monsters. Lai Kang said, I don't think it's appropriate. This could easily leak our secrets. Once it spreads abroad, they will know. A dragon general, Chen Sheng, spoke. He was worried about their new type of bullets and the secret of the divine dragon serum being leaked. Once those countries knew, they would definitely target Xianxia, especially certain major powers. Their methods are sinister and without limits. If they found out, it would be like letting wolves know. The sheepfold, they would definitely try every means to steal their secrets. I also agree that live streaming isn't necessary and could reveal too much. It's better to keep a low profile. That's right. What we Xianxia people value most is acting discreetly. There's no need to live stream so ostentatiously. This indeed carries risks. We cannot let those foreign people know our situation. Everyone agreed. Lai Kang then looked at Liu Qinghan. Director Liu, what are your thoughts? Everyone looked at Liu Qinghan, all waiting for his answer. Liu Qinghan was the only one who knew how the future situation would change. His opinion was highly valuable for reference. After a moment of contemplation, Liu Qinghan seriously said, I suggest we livestream. Lai Kang raised an eyebrow. It was actually a differing opinion. He smiled and said, how so? Although livestreaming indeed carries the risk of leaking our secrets, but even if these secrets are leaked, What then? Liu Qinghan scanned the crowd and said, even if they steal the bullet research reports, or develop bullets stronger than ours, it's useless. The divine dragon serum is something they cannot steal, unless they can obtain blood from the divine dragon. This one sentence made everyone suddenly realize, we forgot, the most crucial ingredient for the divine dragon serum is divine dragon blood. Without this ingredient, no matter how much time they spend, they won't be able to develop it. Moreover, live streaming can reassure the public. Let them see our strength, see the nation's strength, see the divine dragon's strength. Let them know that we can easily deal with monsters. This way, stability can be maintained. Liu Qinghan said, actually, in my previous life, live streams also appeared. It was the US side that first live streamed. They live streamed Metch killing monsters. They showed other countries the power of their Metch, attracting many countries to cooperate with them. This is a very effective strategy. We should live stream. Let the divine dragon appear in the live stream to get more countries to cooperate with us. Moreover, the US will force us to live stream in advance. They will live stream tonight. I can confirm, Liu Qinghan said seriously. The US side has already announced the existence of Metch. Monsters will appear tonight. They will certainly start live streaming. Everyone pondered. Lai Kang said, I think Liu Qinghan is right. Monsters will appear in the US tonight. Given their style and approach, it's impossible for them to miss such a good publicity opportunity. They will definitely live stream. Everyone nodded. They were all people who had fought wits and courage with other countries for decades, naturally knew what kind of people those from the US were, what kind of personalities they had. They were extremely arrogant. How could they let go of such a good opportunity? Then let's listen to Liu Qinghan. Let's live stream. A nationwide live stream. Let the people know they won't be in danger, with the nation leading the way. And the divine dragon, they will all be protected. Let's do it. It sounds like live streaming is indeed a good thing. The meeting concluded. Lai Kang called back those media reporters, agreeing to their live stream, but they must not obstruct the military and must obey all orders, and signed an agreement. Once they disobeyed orders or filmed anything indiscriminately and uploaded it, they would certainly face the most severe punishment, even the death penalty. These media reporters signed the agreement without hesitation. In their view, nothing was more important than making a name for themselves. Time flew by quickly. It was late. The moon was bright, and stars were sparse. At this moment, there was still half an hour until midnight. Everything was calm and peaceful. Other countries also showed no activity. Lai Kang hadn't slept. He had been waiting. He, Liu Qinghan, and 2 dragon generals were waiting at Qin's temporary base. There's still half an hour until 12 a.m. Will monsters really appear? Dragon General said excitedly. He had killed countless enemies in his life, participated in dozens of battles, but had never been as nervous and excited as now. Those are monsters, only existing in movies. These colossal creatures are about to appear. He could even participate in the fight and battle the monsters to the death. He, who was originally 50 or 60 years old, could not have participated in battle, but after the baptism of the divine dragon serum, he had become a super divine dragon human. Living another 100 years would be no problem. His body was very robust. Indeed, it's midnight for us now, but it's daytime in the US. The first monster will definitely appear on their side. We just need to wait. Liu Qinghan smiled faintly and said, the US won't be able to resist. They will definitely live stream. At this moment, in the US, the sky was clear for miles. Button City was still in chaos, just as the rioters were killing, setting fires, and looting supplies. Defying the law, the ground suddenly began to tremble violently. This tremor was like a massive earthquake, caused the ground to shatter. Countless cars and people fell. Houses collapsed, as if the end of the world had arrived. And at the same time, the Seismological Bureau of Button City. The alarm blared. Red alarm lights frequently flashed red warnings. Warning! Warning! Button City experienced strong tremors. Tremors above magnitude 10. Everyone, please evacuate. Everyone, evacuate. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. The director panicked, immediately called the military. Major earthquake above magnitude 10. Suspected monster appearance. Requesting support. Button City. Help it. Help it. I don't want to die. Oh my God. Is this a natural disaster? The earthquake is here. God, please bless me. Button City experienced a super strong earthquake, especially noticeable in the city center. The ground had already cracked open into a grand canyon. All houses collapsed and sank into the ground. The speed at which people fled could not keep up with the speed of the ground cracking. One by one, people fell despairingly, disappearing into the abyss. He quickly answered the phone, and after hearing his leader's words, he was suddenly startled. What? Monsters have appeared in the beautiful country. As soon as these words were uttered, the people around also became alert. One by one, they frowned. Looking at Lai Kang, Liu Qinghan's face was calm. Indeed, it was pretty much as he had expected. Monsters appeared in the beautiful country, and it was the first one in the entire world. After Lai Kang finished the call, he looked at Liu Qinghan with shocked eyes. Really? Monsters appeared in the beautiful country. There have already been countless casualties from the monster over there. Upon hearing this, everyone gasped. So many casualties so quickly are monsters that terrifying. Moreover, The beautiful country is preparing to launch a global live broadcast to let the whole world see the first monster, and they will eliminate this monster. Hearing this, Liu Qinghan smiled. Sure enough, they couldn't help but laugh. Their guess was correct. The beautiful country couldn't resist not going live. Unexpectedly, no country refused to air it. All countries set up and urgently built a live streaming platform that could be used for global live broadcasts and could also connect to all other live streaming platforms. At the same time, all major platforms in Xianxia received an instruction: connect to the global live broadcast to watch the first monster. This instruction shocked them immensely, but they quickly complied. The connection title was very eye-catching. No one could refuse. Everyone who saw this title was greatly shocked. What? Monsters appeared so quickly. I thought they would only appear tomorrow morning, but they appeared in the middle of the night. Don't forget, it's already daytime in the beautiful country now. Their time difference from ours is different, so the time they appeared might be earlier. Quick, go in and watch the world's first monster. Let me see how the beautiful country plans to deal with it. Countless people worldwide clicked on the live broadcast, jointly watching a single scene: the massive crack in the ground in the center of Button City. Seeing this massive crack, countless people were greatly shocked, but at the same time wondered, where is the monster? Lai Kang exclaimed in surprise. The monster hasn't even appeared yet, and it's already caused such widespread disaster. That's too terrifying. The others also felt terrified. The monster hasn't appeared yet, and so many have died. If it does appear, wouldn't even more people die? Liu Qinghan sneered inwardly. He knew that this was only the kind of disaster an ordinary monster could cause. Some monsters could even trigger tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and other even more terrifying disasters. And there was that most terrifying Godzilla, which could even use nuclear energy to unleash super terrifying destructive power. This was just the tip of the iceberg for monsters. Suddenly, a strange sound came from the live stream. A bizarre, colossal roar. This sound seemed to shake everyone's soul. Countless people watching the live broadcast all shuddered violently, filled with immense fear. Is this a monster? Just a roar, and it's already making them tremble. Although it's terrifying, it's far worse than the sound of the divine dragon. Lai Kang's words made everyone laugh. Joking? How could the divine dragon be compared to these monsters? Just as the atmosphere became slightly relaxed, the ground in the scene instantly collapsed into a gigantic black hole. Liu Qinghan shouted excitedly, "It's here! The world's first monster, mountain monster Campora." Campora, Lai Kang and the others looked at Liu Qinghan, almost in query. Yes, this monster was named by the beautiful country. And it's not just this one. More will appear in the future, tides underground or in mountain ranges. Hence it's called the mountain monster. Everyone nodded. So this monster has this characteristic. A rumbling sound came from the screen. Everyone's bodies trembled. They quickly looked at the screen. They saw that the ground in the scene had completely split open, forming a huge hole and continuously emitting the sound of falling rocks, as well as the monster's roars. Bang! Suddenly, a massive dark shadow flew up from below. The scene instantly changed. This time it wasn't an overhead shot, but rather an upward-looking shot, similar to a security camera. In the upward-looking shot, a colossal creature, blocking out the sky and sun, flew up from underground, then landed heavily. The scene changed again. This time it became a real-time satellite view. Countless people clearly saw the monster's appearance. They gasped. They saw that this monster was enormous, its body resembling a pangolin. Its surface had a hard shell, covered in dense, earthy yellow scales. The sunlight spread evenly and shone brightly as the monster raised its head and roared, emitting a mouse-like squeal. Upon closer inspection, its head actually had a drill-like horn. Holy crap! This monster is huge, and it's similar to the monsters in Ultraman. Did a pangolin mutate? Why does it look like a pangolin, except for the drill on its head? It's so big. Can the beautiful country really deal with it? No matter how powerful a monster is, it can't withstand nuclear weapons. If the beautiful country can't solve it, they'll definitely use nuclear weapons. It's too terrifying. I can't even imagine. If such a monster appeared before me, how scared I would be. At this moment, no one in Xianxia could sleep. Countless people were watching Campora in the live broadcast, wanting to see how the beautiful country would deal with such a colossal creature. Lai Kang exclaimed in surprise. This is just the initial monster, and it's already so huge. I estimate it's at least 100 to 200 meters long. Won't the ones that appear later be even stronger? Liu Qinghan nodded. Monsters will only grow stronger day by day. They won't get weaker. We also need to grow stronger. Everyone sighed. Humanity still has a long way to go. Meanwhile, intense battles also unfolded in the beautiful country. As the monster appeared, large numbers of troops had already rushed to the battlefield. The first to arrive at the battlefield was the Flying Eagle squad. Fighter jets circled above the monster. The pilot of Flying Eagle 1, Leng Sheng, spoke. Flying Eagle 1 is in position. Monster locked. Please issue attack orders. Flying Eagle 2 is in position. Monster locked. Please issue attack orders. All fighter jets of the Flying Eagle squad had already locked onto the monster. Campora, awaiting orders. Attack immediately. Received. The Flying Eagle squad responded in unison. In an instant, more than 10 fighter jets simultaneously launched missiles. The missiles flew rapidly, instantly striking the monster's back. Bang! A missile exploded with a roar. The loud noise reverberated throughout Button City. Instantly, A dark mushroom cloud rose. Sound waves rippled outwards. All the glass in the surrounding high-rise buildings shattered. Cars were pushed back by the shockwave. Numerous fighter jets, also due to the airflow generated by the explosion, swayed precariously, but the beast flew up. Using the horns on its head, it instantly pierced a fighter jet. It exploded with a roar. The explosion caused the surrounding fighter jets to be flung away instantly. Some crashed into high-rise buildings and exploded instantly. Some, unstable in flight, fell to the ground and exploded. Some collided with each other and exploded. In the blink of an eye, only 2 or 3 of the more than 10 fighter jets remained, shouting into the walkie-talkie. In an instant, all bullets and tanks opened fire, blasting towards the monster. Under such fierce firepower, the monster stood firm, unyielding. It didn't even have a scratch. It merely raised its head and let out a roar, then charged towards the army, slaughtering indiscriminately. The entire world was watching this live broadcast, seeing so many missiles and bullets unable to harm the monster. Everyone was incredibly shocked. Oh my God, does this mean the monster truly cannot be destroyed? It's too terrifying. Can our country kill such a powerful monster? Even America's missiles and bullets were useless. It would probably be difficult for us. Our Wuxia will definitely be able to kill the monster. We are invincible. Is America too weak? Or is the monster too strong? So many thermal weapons are ineffective. This monster's defense is too astonishing. Many countries felt despair. If even America's weapons are useless, then what chance do their small countries have of survival? Unlike other countries, most people in Wuxia at this time didn't feel scared. Joking. It's just a monster. We have the divine dragon. I've seen the divine dragon. It will definitely be able to defeat the monster. Wuxia will win. Wuxia is invincible. Is America going to be destroyed? Most people believed Beijing's global opportunity. As William gave the order, a submerged base in a distant sea area slowly rose. On the sea surface, a giant Metch slowly emerged. Under the sunlight, it appeared exceptionally majestic and powerful. Dozens of towing helicopters lifted the Metch and slowly flew toward the center of Button City. Along the way, it astonished countless people. At this time, Button City, without the army's obstruction, the monster became even more reckless. It furiously destroyed buildings. It was impossible to resist it. It seemed invincible. It could only watch as high-rise buildings collapsed one after another. Americans were filled with despair. Can't the military solve this? During the global live broadcast, many small countries gloated. It seems America, this great nation, is also doomed. The monster is truly invincible. Even America is going to be destroyed. Are you guys stupid? If even America cannot resist it, then how can we deal with it? Don't worry. America still has a trump card. Only the militaries of various countries knew that America still had a hidden card they hadn't played. That was the Metch. Just as unsuspecting netizens worldwide were watching the live broadcast, believing that America was about to sacrifice a city. A giant blue Metch descended from the sky. The moment they saw the Metch, countless people were stunned. America had actually developed the Terminator from the movies. It landed steadily. The pilot looked at the massive monster before him, his heart incredibly excited. This was his first time piloting a Metch to fight outside, and he was facing a monster. The monster, seeing the appearance of the Terminator, also sensed a dangerous or neither side made a rash move. Attack. Immediately launch an attack. Kill it quickly. William's voice echoed in the cockpit. Hearing the commander's voice, the pilot immediately nodded, then charged towards the monster. The Metch's controls were synchronized with him. The pilot's entire body was connected by neural links. Every one of his movements would be synchronized by the Metch. The Terminator charged forward, raising its arms high, then brought them down heavily, striking the monster's back with a heavy blow. Bang! Metal clashed against scales, emitting a deafening sound. The monster seemed to feel pain, and after a furious roar, it forcefully rammed the Terminator, causing the latter to stumble back. The monster was enraged. It charged forward to fight the Terminator. The two were actually fighting to a standstill, exchanging blows. Netizens watching were dumbfounded. Is America going to win? Holy crap! America's Metch is so strong. They actually developed something so terrifying. Awesome! America seems like it's going to win. The monster must lose. Damn! I actually feel like it's getting slower and slower. Lai Kang's eyes widened slightly. This monster doesn't seem that powerful. It hasn't fully developed yet. I've seen Campora several times bigger than it. This monster is considered small, Liu Qinghan said. The monsters appearing at this stage are basically very weak. A few more rounds of concentrated fire could kill them. They slept for too long and haven't fully adapted since emerging from the wormhole. Furthermore, the climate and environment of Lanzin are different. This makes them weaker. This was discovered in the previous life's monster outbreak. Researched in the second month, scientists found that the monster's cells were constantly adapting to the environment, growing more numerous and stronger. Once they fully adapt to the environment, they will become incredibly powerful. Liu Qinghan informed Lai Kang and the others of these matters, which greatly shocked them. They benefited greatly. Meanwhile, the Terminator in the scene had already grabbed the monster's head, its shoulders actually raised, revealing several missile launchers. It fired missiles towards the monster's mouth. Bang! 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 Hundreds of missiles exploded inside the monster's mouth, causing incredibly horrific damage. Campora's outer shell is very tough, but other areas are incredibly vulnerable. The Terminator perfectly exploited its weakness, inflicting damage upon it. With a roar from the monster, it crashed to the ground, green blood flowing from its mouth, and let out a wail. Seeing this, countless people were greatly shocked. America won just like that. Is it real or fake? America won. This Metch is too terrifying. It actually killed the monster. Oh my god. We won. We defeated the monster. However, we are the strongest. American netizens, one by one, were ecstatic. The first battle of a nation was victorious. They never expected that they could actually win. The Terminator is truly too strong. The Terminator's pilot gasped for air. He looked at the dying monster lying on the ground, unable to believe that this was his first time piloting a Metch, and he had already achieved victory. The monster was also no match. Quickly kill the monster. Let the whole world see our strength. William's voice rang out. The pilot nodded. He walked step by step to the side of the dying monster, raised his fist high, and punched its head. Punch after punch, flesh and blood splattered. The monster continuously wailed, some bleeding hearts even. Seeing how pitiful the monster was, requested in the comments for America not to attack. A monster's life is also a life. Bang, bang, bang. As the Terminator delivered several heavy blows, the monster slowly stopped wailing. The whole world trembled. Things were as he had expected. When other countries saw America successfully kill the monster, when they achieved their first victory, everyone was amazed by their Metch. The top leader of Kugyo Nation, the moment he saw the monster die, had already closed the live broadcast. He picked up the phone on the desk and dialed his secretary's number to immediately convene an emergency meeting to discuss the matter. He called Melibo. I think we can cooperate. We agree to all your conditions. America possesses Metch. In the future, China will be the most powerful nation. Watching the monster die in the live broadcast, Lai Kang sighed. America is going to make a lot of money this time. He could imagine that America would definitely rely on this victory to cooperate with many countries and obtain a lot of resources. It's fine. We have the divine dragon. Their America still can't become a great nation. Liu Qinghan smiled faintly upon hearing this. Lai Kang smiled. Indeed, in front of the divine dragon, humans are just ants. America's Metch can be easily destroyed. Wait, everyone. Look at the live broadcast. What is that? Suddenly, Dragon General exclaimed in surprise. Hearing this, Lai Kang and Liu Qinghan quickly looked at the live broadcast screen. They were instantly startled. In the picture, thunderclouds actually filled the sky above Niukushi. The dark, hazy thunderclouds were like a giant rock, making everyone breathless. Looking at the flashing lightning and the crackling thunder, Lai Kang and Liu Qinghan felt an immense sense of familiarity. The two exchanged a glance. Could this be the divine dragon, they said in unison. But why would the divine dragon go to America? Meanwhile, in distant Asan Nation, those few Asans who escaped from the mouth of the 10-person monster were also watching the live broadcast. The moment they saw the thunderclouds, they instantly knelt on the ground, kowtowing. Lord God, it's Lord God. But why did he go to America? Has Lord God abandoned our Asan Nation? They recognized it by instinct. This was the deity from that day. It probably won't just disappear like this. Right, at this moment, the Terminator pilot stood inside the cockpit, watching the thunderclouds outside surrounding him. He was filled with immense fear. He desperately tried to control the Metch, but found it had malfunctioned and was completely unresponsive. No, I don't want to die here. The pilot was so scared he wanted to cry. Just then, thunder rumbled. A bolt of azure lightning streaked across the thunderclouds, illuminating the silhouette of an enormous creature. The pilot was so terrified that he immediately lost control of his bladder. His lower body felt wet and painful. In an instant, within the hazy thunderclouds, a pair of majestic and awe-inspiring eyes appeared. Those eyes merely looked at him, making him feel an incredibly powerful pressure, but this monster surprisingly did not harm him. Instead, after sweeping Cambula's body into the thunderclouds, it vanished without a trace. The thunderclouds quickly dispersed. The Terminator was fine, but what was on the ground that could make the Terminator malfunction? What kind of outrageous monster is this? As America urgently closed the live broadcast, this incident caused a huge uproar online. Is the mysterious monster good or bad? Where did it go? Tonight was destined to be a sleepless night. The mysterious monster scared off America, and the Metch took away the monster's corpse. These matters were hotly debated worldwide, especially on China's Weibo. Holy shit, what was that mysterious monster? Is it good or bad? Why didn't it attack America's Metch? Instead, it took away the monster's corpse. Unclear, but if it's on America's side, that would be very disadvantageous for us. It couldn't be a monster developed by America. Could it? How is that possible? It's already amazing that they developed Metch. If they can develop monsters, I'll eat my hat while standing on my head. Indeed, I don't believe them either. If they really could, they would already be invincible in the future. Many people speculated that the mysterious monster might have been developed by America. Otherwise, why didn't it attack the Metch? This is too strange. Meanwhile, at Qin's zoo, Chen Qing was floating in midair. Sleeping, Lai Kang, Liu Qinghan, and others rushed over by car. Seeing Chen Qing asleep, Liu Qinghan mustered her courage and asked, Lord Divine Dragon, were you just now in America? Chen Qing slightly opened his eyes, nodded gently, and then continued to sleep. He had previously sensed massive energy fluctuation appearing in America, so he went to investigate. Just as he arrived, the monster died. Since he had already seen it, how could he let America take it away? So, right under the noses of countless people, he forcibly took away the monster's corpse, the so-called Metch. In front of him was like an ant. Don't forget, he also had the ability to disable all thermal weapons. This Metch also counted as a thermal weapon. Seeing the Divine Dragon nod, Lai Kang and the others breathed a sigh of relief. It really is Lord Divine Dragon. It's a good thing it wasn't some other monster. Lai Kang chuckled. They had just been guessing if it was Lord Divine Dragon. After getting a definitive answer, they felt relieved, as long as it's not some mysterious monster. It's fine, let's go. Now that we have the answer, we're not so scared, Liu Qinghan said with a faint smile. Lai Kang nodded. After people left, Beauty was a friend of America. He has no intention of harming us. We have reached an agreement with him. As long as there are monster corpses, we will feed them to him, and he will protect us. Still couldn't keep it a secret. Huh? Hearing this, Lai Kang instantly sobered up. Liu Qinghan, beside him, also showed a strange expression. This William really dares to boast. He actually said the Divine Dragon is their friend. He really has no shame. Lai Kang cursed loudly. Liu Qinghan sneered. They've seized the fact that everyone can't recognize the monster's appearance, and then they want to use the Divine Dragon as a gimmick to deceive others. I have to say, this move is very clever. They can both use the Divine Dragon's mysterious power to attract other countries to cooperate, and also make uninformed countries afraid. If it weren't for them knowing it was the Divine Dragon, they would have truly believed it. Anyway, nobody knows, so no matter how America boasts, someone will believe it, because the Divine Dragon indeed did not harm the Metch. America is truly shameless. To the extreme, should we expose America's shameless behavior? They actually use the Divine Dragon as a gimmick. Many countries will probably fall for it and be deceived. A dragon general said. However, Lai Kang shook his head and sneered. Let America pretend for now. Lies will eventually be exposed. He didn't plan to expose it. Even if we expose it, it'll be useless. I'm afraid there isn't much humanity left. He would just watch for the day the lie was exposed. What would America do then? About an hour passed. Online, one after another, news came of other countries and America reaching cooperation agreements. In just one night, the situation had changed. America's Metch gave many countries hope, and they rushed to cooperate with it and that so-called friendly monster, just as Lai Kang and Liu Qinghan had thought. Many countries believed it. Presumably, relying on this occasion, America would be able to build more Metch. It's just that I don't know what those people will do later. When they find out it's a lie, Liu Qinghan also couldn't say for sure. Who knows if a butterfly effect will occur? What if the monster knows there are so many people here and doesn't dare to come out? The time reached 9:50. Lai Kang and others arrived next to the Divine Dragon, because being next to the Divine Dragon was the safest place. I sensed a powerful energy. Qingshan opened his eyes and looked towards the east. As soon as these words were spoken, Lai Kang and the others' hair stood on end instantly. The monster is here. Asterisk boom. Boom exclamation asterisk. The ground suddenly began to tremble, as if a major earthquake of over magnitude 10. Everyone lost their footing and fell to the ground. The ground began to crack and split apart. But fortunately, Lai Kang had long since told everyone not to stay inside the houses. When the ground cracked, the soldiers ran very fast. The main force was mostly far away, because they had long predicted the location where the monster would appear. It was none other than near the zoo. They just needed to stay away from this area, precisely because of Liu Qinghan's rebirth premonition. Many people and Qinshi were spared. When Lai Kang saw that the monster had truly arrived, he immediately reported to his superiors, asking them to start a global live broadcast to show them that Xianxia didn't need inferior Metch. In less than 5 minutes, the satellite aimed at Qinshi Zoo. The global live broadcast connected the entire world. Countless people poured into the live stream. When William learned that Xianxia had also welcomed their monster, he immediately sneered and entered the live stream. He wanted to see what Xianxia would use to deal with the monster. When countless people in Xianxia entered the live stream, they were instantly stunned because they discovered the Divine Dragon was gone. Where did the Divine Dragon go? Wasn't there a Divine Dragon in Qinshi? This is the zoo. Where did the Divine Dragon go? Such a huge Divine Dragon shouldn't just vanish. Liu Qinghan was also watching the live stream at this moment. He saw the comments and turned his head in surprise, and the Divine Dragon was right beside him. But why did the comments say they couldn't see the Divine Dragon? Lord Divine Dragon, why are all the comments saying they can't see you? Can't the satellite capture it? Liu Qinghan asked. Qingshan nodded. I've gained a new skill. As long as I don't want to show myself, no technology can detect my presence. Even satellites can't capture me, but the naked eye can see me. This was after he finished eating Campora, a new skill obtained after gaining a large number of evolution points. Divine Dragon's concealment. Upon hearing this, everyone was startled. This skill is too terrifying. No technology can detect the Divine Dragon's presence. Wouldn't that mean the Divine Dragon could silently go to the beautiful country, and those radars wouldn't even know? The Divine Dragon is truly terrifying. No wonder the satellite couldn't capture it. Liu Qinghan suddenly understood. Asterisk boom. Boom exclamation asterisk. Just then, the ground trembled again, and this time, In the distant east, mountain range slowly began to rise. Seeing this mountain range, Liu Qinghen immediately shouted, "This is Yan Gui." It carried a mountain range on its back. Extremely conspicuous, Lai Kang immediately took out his walkie-talkie to command the soldiers to report the exact location, to have the soldiers rush over and let the monster witness Huixia's firepower. The satellite aimed at where the monster appeared. When countless people saw the giant mountain range, they were all greatly shocked. The new monster was completely different from Na Zhai in the beautiful country. Asterisk whoosh exclamation asterisk suddenly. The monster let out a deafening sound, somewhat like a wolf's howl. The ground burst open. The mountain range swayed. Colossal creature slowly crawled out from underground, revealing itself to countless eyes. That was a giant Wu Xinghao. The asterisk part was similar to an alligator snapping turtle. Its 4 limbs had scales, and its back carried a giant mountain. It looked twice as large as the one in the beautiful country. Its appearance instantly destroyed all the surrounding houses. While roaring, it wantonly destroyed houses. Attack! Everyone attack, Lai Kang shouted, as his command was given, all things that had been prepared long ago, giving me such a terrifying sense of oppression. Countless overseas netizens watching the live broadcast could all feel the divine dragon's might, even though they hadn't seen the monster's full appearance. Yet their bodies and minds trembled. If they had witnessed it in person, wouldn't they be scared senseless? How terrifying must such a monster be? Yan Gui felt an extremely terrifying, displaying human-like fear. This might suppressed it, making it feel utterly suffocated. Asterisk bang exclamation asterisk. As the dragon's claw descended, it pressed down on Yan Gui's back, pushing it into the ground. The ground trembled violently. A crater hundreds of meters in diameter instantly appeared. Yan Gui was killed in one strike, and this was with Qingshan holding back. After all, there were still so many soldiers present. He didn't need to cause widespread damage. The dragon's claw lifted. Yan Gui's mangled corpse was revealed to countless eyes. This priceless flesh and blood demonic fire must be a monster. Countless global netizens watching the live broadcast. At this moment, they didn't know what to say, so shocked that their souls stood still. Is this real or fake? Am I seeing things? Such a huge monster, even with Huixia's extensive firepower, a terrifying existence that couldn't be defeated, was instantly killed. How is that possible? Huixia actually has such a powerful being. It had even helped them eliminate the monster. Isn't that stronger than the beautiful country? This mysterious monster is too terrifying. It instantly killed another monster with one blow. If this continues, Huixia will be invincible. If this is Huixia's guardian deity, I want to apply to move to Huixia. However, I already changed my nationality to Huixia's a long time ago. I also count as a Huixian. I want to go to Huixia. Countless people were shocked. If this is Huixia's guardian deity, then Huixia is too invincible. It's countless times stronger than the beautiful country's Metch. Some people were already planning how to settle in Huixia. They just didn't know if Huixia would accept people. Unlike overseas netizens, domestic netizens completely erupted. Awesome, divine dragon is awesome. One-shot kill. So damn cool. However, Huixia has a divine dragon. The country is prosperous and the people are at peace. With the divine dragon here, what the hell are we afraid of? Any monster that comes is useless. The divine dragon will instantly kill them. Thank you, divine dragon, for saving Huixia, for saving us. Back then, I even bought a pig to feed the divine dragon, so I also contributed. About 1/5 of the country's population had seen the divine dragon, especially the people of Qinshi. They almost daily brought food to see the divine dragon. Seeing the divine dragon instantly kill the monster, they also felt proud. Look, that's the divine dragon we all worked together to raise. How awesome. Liu Qinghen watched the thunderclouds slowly dissipate. The scene just now was deeply imprinted in his heart. Unforgettable. Tears of excitement slowly streamed from the corners of his eyes. He slowly smiled. I succeeded. In this life, the divine dragon has become incredibly powerful. Huixia will not repeat the fate of the previous life. He came back and worked hard to organize everything. Wasn't it all to make the divine dragon stronger and protect Huixia? Seeing the divine dragon's strength surpassed that of his previous life, instantly killing Yan Gui with one move. He knew he had succeeded. Lai Kang also started to smile. His eyes sparkled with excited brilliance. The divine dragon is too strong. But the good news was, the divine dragon belonged to Huixia. It was their guardian deity. With the divine dragon present, they felt incredibly at ease. The monster was dealt with. Lai Kang closed the global live broadcast. Liu Qinghen quickly dispatched the monster cleanup crew. He understood why the divine dragon left the monster's corpse. Instead of eating it directly, it was so they could collect the monster's whip. Everyone was extremely shocked. They saw the divine dragon extend its head into the void. A spatial rift instantly appeared on the other side. It opened its dragon mouth and sucked Yan Gui's corpse in like a black hole. On a phone call to invite guests, one witnessed the divine dragon's immortal-like supernatural powers. Everyone was only slightly shocked, not overly stunned, because they were somewhat used to it. Just then, Lai Kang received a call. The international online conference was about to begin again. The beautiful country America was holding an international conference. It was most likely aimed at us. Lai Kang sneered, And also, those people are very likely to be after the monster gene samples. I had already collected many beforehand. We can sell them to them in exchange for more resources, Liu Qinghan said thoughtfully. He had thought of these things long ago. After all, in the future, monster genes would be the world's most important research project. Every country wanted to research and develop a monster serum. Only with more people to strengthen themselves. Xianxia didn't need to dominate alone. Could the monster invasion be prevented from succeeding? It was already a critical moment. There was no need for humans to kill each other. Good point. I will live on with them. Regarding self-preservation. Upon hearing everyone's words, Lai Kang's lips curled into a cold sneer. He clasped his hands together on the table. Good, then let's have a good talk about business. Lord Divine Dragon of the Zoo. Bear Country wants to cooperate with us, but the condition is that you must protect them, and they will offer up monster corpses. Liu Qinghan came to Chen Qing's side and spoke. Hearing this, Chen Qing opened his dragon eyes and nodded. Okay, what he needed were monster corpses. His current evolution points had already reached 350,000. His third dragon claw had fully developed. He needed more energy to grow a fourth dragon claw. All right. I'll report back immediately. Liu Qinghan nodded and turned to leave. Wait a moment, Chen Qing called out to him. Is something wrong? Lord Divine Dragon, Liu Qinghan asked. Puzzled, he turned his head, only to suddenly realize the Divine Dragon's claw suddenly appeared before him. Feeling the supreme dragon might, Liu Qinghan's eyes widened abruptly. He was terrified, but he believed Lord Divine Dragon would not harm him. The tip of one of the dragon's claws slowly rested on his forehead. It did not harm him. Instead, the Divine Dragon spoke human words. Divine Dragon's blessing. As soon as the words fell, Liu Qinghan's entire body emitted a dazzling golden light. This golden light spread out like a small sun, shining blindingly. A few seconds later, the golden light slowly dissipated. Liu Qinghan's eyes were wide. He looked down at his hands. He felt his body filled with power, stronger than when he had eaten the gene fruit or consumed the Divine Dragon Serum before. Lord Divine Dragon. He looked up at the Divine Dragon. He understood this was a gift from Lord Divine Dragon. This is my blessing. With it, your self-healing ability and strength will both be enhanced. With my protection, you will carry a trace of dragon might. Ordinary monsters will not dare to approach you. At critical moments, I will appear. Chen Qing knew everything Liu Qinghan had done for him. This was a new ability he gained after swallowing the Yan Gui. Currently, he could only bestow blessings upon one person. In the future, once this skill evolved, he could bestow blessings upon all Xianxia people. At that time, everyone would possess dragon might. That would be the true everyone like a dragon. Thank you, Lord Divine Dragon. Liu Qinghan suddenly knelt down. He was about to kowtow, but felt a strange force, preventing him from kneeling. I'm tired. You go about your business, Chen Qing said lightly, and continued to sleep. Liu Qinghan looked at the Divine Dragon. Deeply moved, everything he had done, he had never thought of getting a reward from Lord Divine Dragon. He merely wanted to prevent Xianxia from repeating its mistakes. This Divine Dragon's blessing was an unexpected joy. I will certainly do well, and I will not disappoint you. Liu Qinghan nodded and left the zoo. Time flew by quickly. Night fell. The moon was bright, and stars were sparse. Until 8 p.m., no monsters appeared in between, not anywhere in the world. But this did not allow humanity to let down its guard. The entire world was constantly on alert, in case monsters appeared. At this moment, in Moko City, Bear Country, Russia, a family was camping outdoors. They were grilling fragrant steaks, drinking beer, and discussing the day's events. Those monsters are nothing special. If our fighting nation sees them, we'll surely beat them to a pulp. However, what kind of damn monsters are they talking about? Let them eat my bullets first. Several already drunk strong men had begun to brag. Their wives smiled while grilling meat. All right, I'll go with you to pick it up. He held his daughter's hand and walked into the dense forest to look for the lost ball. They walked further and further away. The laughter behind them slowly faded. Where did the ball go? The man looked left and right, but couldn't see the ball. He looked at his daughter, only to find his daughter curiously pointing ahead. Dad, what's that? The man looked in the direction his daughter was pointing. With just that one glance, his drunkenness instantly vanished. He saw a pair of blood-red eyes suspended ahead. The creature was staring fixedly at them. He subconsciously pulled out the gun from his waist and fired ahead. Bang! 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 Gunshots echoed through the forest, startling the people outside. Everyone instantly turned pale with fright. They looked towards the forest. What happened? Whoosh! Suddenly, a wolf howl echoed from within the forest. A massive dark shadow leaped out from the forest. It soared over the crowd. Under the pure white moonlight, they saw the full form of the colossal beast. It was a gigantic wolf, with gray fur, sharp and long claws, and two protruding fangs. The monster suddenly pounced on the crowd. It bit one of them and began to tear and devour. This sudden scene terrified everyone. Monster! The monster's here, one person shouted. All the bragging they had done earlier was completely forgotten. Anyone who encountered a real monster would be scared. The moment the monster appeared, someone called the police. The command center in Moko City heard the report and immediately dispatched all nearby troops and official personnel in Bear Country's largest military base. A formidable man, 2 meters tall, dressed in military uniform, with a buzz cut, was still in his office. not resting, with monsters now appearing in the world. As General Mao's of Bear Country, and also Bear Country's representative, how could he sleep soundly? Suddenly, the alarm light on his desk lit up. Startled, he rushed out. The people outside were already in a panic. Report. General Mao's, a monster has appeared in Moko City. It's a giant wolf. It has already eaten people. Troops have been dispatched. His subordinate quickly reported upon seeing Mao's. Mao's looked at the satellite footage. A giant wolf, 100 meters tall, was wantonly destroying the city. The army had been deployed, but they couldn't inflict any damage on it. Has the Eagle Squad arrived? They're almost here. They've arrived. General, please look, someone shouted and pulled up the footage. Over 10 fighter jets had already reached the battlefield. All target the giant wolf and open fire immediately. Mao's commanded coldly. The person nodded and was about to issue the order, but saw a terrifying scene, only to see the giant wolf actually stand up like a human, standing upright on 2 feet, waving its claws at the fighter jets. This sudden scene caused the fighter jets to be unable to react in time, and they were instantly wiped out. What? This giant wolf can actually stand up. Mao's was greatly shocked and turned pale. Everyone present felt terrified. It's strange for a giant wolf to be able to stand up like a human, and very straight, just like a real person. This scene is too bizarre. The standing giant wolf was even more terrifying. Casually waving its claws, it destroyed numerous houses and tanks. It was simply an unconquerable, terrifying existence. Seeing this, Mao's, who had seen countless grand spectacles, also rushed back to his office, picked up the satellite phone, and dialed an international number. A groggy voice came from the other end, as if awakened. What? Request Xianxia's support. Request Xianxia's support. Moscow encountered a monster. Awo? The giant wolf howled, head tilted back. Its sound was deafening. It stood in the city like a human, waving its upright claws, sharp and long upright claws, instantly sliced through countless houses, like cutting melons and vegetables. Bear Country is a famous warrior nation. Even with a monster attack, they weren't afraid. Not only did the army mobilize, even residents from every household came out with hunting rifles. The giant wolf was different from the previous 2 monsters. Its defense wasn't very strong. When hit by bullets or tank shells, it felt pain, but this pain gradually made it furious, becoming even more brutal. The enraged giant wolf's combat power soared. The army was instantly at a disadvantage. With countless casualties inside the military base, Mao's roared for a retreat, telling them all to retreat. Xianxia's support would arrive soon. The army was no match at all. Now they could only wait for Xianxia's support to arrive. Will that mysterious monster really come? Someone raised a question. Mao shook his head. He wasn't sure, but Xianxia said there would be support. After all, they had already cooperated. Whether it was that terrifying mysterious monster, that remained unknown. Rumble. Just then, in the satellite footage, Moscow's sky was covered in thunderclouds. Lightning flashed dazzlingly. Thunder roared deafeningly. Seeing this, Mao's was overjoyed. It's here. That monster truly was Xianxia's ally. Otherwise, Xianxia couldn't have summoned it. In the future, Xianxia will surely become a superpower. No one will dare provoke them again. Mao's was incredibly shocked internally, and also very envious. When will Bear Country also have such a powerful monster as an ally? The people of Moscow looked at the dark clouds above their heads, and were instantly ecstatic. They had all watched today's global live broadcast, knowing that such a mysterious monster existed. It hadn't harmed the beautiful country's Metch, and even helped Xianxia kill monsters, making people believe that monster was good. Now the monster had come to Bear Country. This time it must also be here to help them. The giant wolf looked up at the thunderclouds. Its pupils constricted violently. In the thunderclouds, it felt incredibly terrifying. The aura of death rushed towards it. Staying any longer would mean death. In an instant, the giant wolf reverted to its 4-legged form and ran towards the original forest. It wanted to escape. This greatly astonished everyone. It was just a patch of thunderclouds. The mysterious monster hadn't even shown itself, yet this giant wolf was already scared out of its wits and fled immediately. Just how terrifying must that mysterious monster be to make the giant wolf flee in such a panic? Rumble. Thunder rolled. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning descended from the sky, striking directly at the giant wolf. Bang! A direct hit. The lightning was dazzling. The thunder was like drums, shaking everyone, making them close their eyes and cover their ears. Bang! 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 The lightning strike wasn't over. Bolt after bolt of lightning struck down, and the giant wolf had long since fallen. Unable to get up, all its fur stood on end from the electricity. Its body stiff and emitting thick black smoke. Took a long time until the lightning subsided. The lightning strike ceased, and the giant wolf was already dead. It emitted an enticing aroma, leaving everyone utterly astonished. So powerful, this monster can actually control lightning. What kind of mysterious monster is this? No one had ever seen its full appearance. What a cool monster. If only it belonged to our Bear Country. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Xianxia extended its dragon claws from the thunderclouds, grabbed the giant wolf's corpse, and pulled it into the thunderclouds, disappearing from sight, arriving in haste, departing in haste. This filled countless people with awe. This mysterious monster is truly too powerful. Fortunately, had no intention of harming people. Seeing the giant wolf dealt with, Mao's breathed a sigh of relief and also felt fortunate and exhilarated. Fortunately, they didn't become enemies with Xianxia. Fortunately, they cooperated with Xianxia, and with such a terrifying monster helping them, Bear Country was currently out of danger. Qingchen returned to the zoo's sleeping quarters. Liu Qinghen and Lai Kang were both there. They smiled immediately upon seeing the divine dragon return. It's been dealt with. The monster tasted pretty good. I left some for you, Qingchen said calmly. That roasted wolf earlier tasted quite good. Who knew roasted monster was much tastier than raw? Next time, I should roast it with lightning first before eating. Would be even better if I could add some seasoning. He casually threw a large piece of wolf meat onto the ground for Liu Qinghen and the others to take back for research. Thank you, Lord Divine Dragon, Lai Kang said respectfully, and quickly called people over to move the monster's corpse. He also wondered if this roasted giant wolf corpse still had any research value. Just as Qingchen was about to continue his slumber, his body suddenly felt a surge of energy, very strong and very painful. He suddenly tilted his head back and let out a long roar, emitting a dragon's roar, shaking heaven and earth. The sky immediately became covered in dark clouds, with strong winds and heavy rain, and lightning and thunder. Liu Qinghen, Lai Kang, and the others nearby instantly knelt on the ground, looking at the divine dragon with immense fear. What's happening? Could it be that the divine dragon was injured in Bear Country? And wait, quickly leave. No, I'm transforming, Qingchen said coldly. Just now, the system sent a message. Evolution points reached 400,000, activating the first dragon scale transformation, which will make the dragon scales harder and the claws sharper, enhancing all aspects. Host, please prepare for transformation. Hearing these words, everyone was startled and quickly ran outside. As Liu Qinghen fled, she looked back. Her eyes instantly widened. She saw the divine dragon, emitting a dazzling golden light, then slowly shrinking. Finally, it actually transformed into a dragon egg covered in spirits. Floating in midair, the strong winds and heavy rain continued. Liu Qinghen stopped, shouting loudly, Lord Divine Dragon is transforming. Immediately seal off the zoo to prevent satellite detection. Lai Kang heard this, looked back and saw the spirit dragon, and quickly ordered the army to seal off the area, guarding it day and night, until Lord Divine Dragon's metamorphosis was complete. Inside the spirit egg, Chen Qing felt himself curling up. His body was unable to move, but he could feel. His body was enveloped by a very warm energy, and the dragon scales on his body seemed to be slowly shedding. System, why does it metamorphose? Dragons need to undergo multiple metamorphoses, and each metamorphosis will double one's own strength. The strongest dragons can metamorphose 9 times. Those who exceed 9 transformations are already the strongest existences in the universe. Chen Qing was utterly stunned. It was his first time hearing of such a concept. And how long does the metamorphosis take? The time for each metamorphosis will increase. This time, it will be 1 day. Wouldn't undergoing metamorphosis like this make it very easy to be attacked? Rest assured, Master, with the system's help, the metamorphosis will absolutely be without danger. Upon hearing this, Chen Qing was relieved, since it will take 1 day. Then I'll just sleep for a bit. And sleeping inside this egg, he felt rather comfortable. The feeling of being held by his mother made him feel very secure. He fell asleep in a short while, and during this period of his slumber, an earth-shattering major event occurred in the Waku Nation. The next morning, the Waku Nation encountered its first monster on its home soil. But they didn't see the monster. Instead, it was one of their nuclear power plants by the sea that was destroyed. A large amount of nuclear waste spilled out. Only after reviewing surveillance footage did they learn that the nuclear power plant was destroyed by a monster. Yet there were no casualties from the monster attack. They even needed surveillance to find out that it was destroyed by a monster. This incident quickly spread, and when Lai Kang mentioned this matter to Liu Qinghen immediately revealed the monster's name. You mean this is a monster named Godzilla? Lai Kang said in astonishment. He didn't expect that a monster the Waku Nation didn't even know about. Liu Qinghen actually knew about it too. Is this what a reborn person is like? Yes, this monster is very powerful. In the future, it is hailed as the king of monsters because it can absorb nuclear energy to strengthen itself. The more it absorbs, the stronger it becomes. The Waku Nation named it Godzilla. Liu Qinghen spoke solemnly. This Godzilla is indeed a very terrifying monster. I didn't expect it would appear so soon. Or perhaps it also appeared at this time in the previous life. It's just that his status at that time didn't qualify him to know. Then will it come to Xianxia? Lai Kang said with a frown. Liu Qinghen shook her head. Godzilla is very friendly, and its intelligence is very high. It absolutely won't show itself before it's fully developed. It will only secretly consume nuclear waste to grow. It will always stay at the bottom of the sea and not come out. In the previous life, Godzilla should have been lurking at the bottom of the sea for 2 months. It only appeared later, once it became powerful. However, its frequency of appearance was very low. It only appeared 3 times from beginning to end, and each time it appeared, it was in the Waku Nation, bringing great disaster to the Waku Nation. Let's put it this way, at least half of the Waku Nation was destroyed by Godzilla. The Waku people all harbored deep hatred for this, yet there was no way to kill Godzilla. Even the Metch sent by the beautiful nation were no match for Godzilla. Well, that's fine. as long as it doesn't come to Xianxia. Let it do whatever it wants there. Lai Kang said with a smile. Whatever happens to those countries is none of his business. Just protecting Xianxia is enough. Oh, right. The research on Yan Gui's genes is almost complete. They discovered it can fuse with the divine dragon's bloodline. If successful, in the future, we might be able to utilize the genes of other monsters and fuse them with the divine dragon blood serum to develop even more terrifying serums, Liu Qinghen said excitedly. They immediately began researching Yan Gui. Now, 24 hours have passed, and they have achieved results. They discovered that the divine dragon blood serum is extremely oppressive. When other monster genes are introduced, those cells simply dare not resist. They are as docile as little white rabbits. This made their research process extremely smooth. If researched separately, the agitation of those cells would slow down the progress. Upon hearing this, Lai Kang sneered. The divine dragon's gene cells are too strong. These monster gene cells simply dare not resist. This is good news. Liu Qinghen nodded. The progress is incredibly smooth. Within 3 days, they will be able to develop new serums, and the new serums will only require a tiny bit of divine dragon blood serum to suppress. This way, they can be mass-produced, allowing everyone to become stronger. Once developed successfully, everyone can drink monster serums and become stronger. As for the divine dragon blood serum, this will require some time. After all, the divine dragon blood serum is currently the strongest serum, and it's not that easy to mass-produce. We must work harder. Other countries have all obtained monster gene samples. The beautiful nation should have the fastest speed. Lai Kang said, it's fine. No matter how much they research, they also can't be as powerful as our divine dragon blood serum. Liu Qinghen smiled confidently. Lai Kang nodded with a smile. That's true, and it's precisely because of this that they would sell monster gene samples to exchange for more resources. The strongest serum is right here in Xianxia. Even if other countries develop serums, what difference does it make? Time gradually passed. Today was already the second day of the monster invasion, and worldwide, the frequency of monster appearances was getting higher and higher. By noon, the Taoru nation also faced its first monster. That was a monster with bat wings. When a city was on the verge of destruction, the beautiful nation's Metch only arrived belatedly. Finally, relying on the Metch, they successfully killed the monster. The beautiful nation took away that monster, only leaving for the Taoru nation a little bit of monster gene samples for research. In addition to this, other countries also saw monsters appear. Some small countries couldn't hold on and were immediately annihilated. This kind of earth-shattering and terrifying news kept appearing. People's hearts were filled with dread. This also made many countries eager to cooperate. In their minds, only 2 major powers were considered for cooperation, namely, Xianxia, which possessed a mysterious monster, and the beautiful nation, which possessed Metch. Night fell. The moon was bright and the stars were sparse. Liu Qinghen, Lai Kang, and others never left the vicinity of Jinling Dragon Birth. If the divine dragon didn't come out, they wouldn't leave. Then a faint cracking sound came from the spirit dragon egg. Liu Qinghen and the others quickly looked up. The dragon egg is cracked open. The divine dragon is about to appear, causing everyone to be excited. Watching the spirit dragon egg, cracking sounds kept ringing out. Golden light seeped out from the cracks, incredibly brilliant, until the dragon egg completely broke open. Golden light burst forth brilliantly. Everyone quickly closed their eyes, stretching out their hands to block the light. A mighty dragon roar shook the heavens. A terrifying pressure descended, making everyone filled with immense fear. Liu Qinghen opened her eyes to look, only to see an enormous golden divine dragon. Soaring straight to the heavens, fierce winds raged, accompanied by thunder and rain. Everyone looked up, dumbfounded. The golden divine dragon was coiling and turning in the sky, but they couldn't completely see its head and tail. They could only see its body soaring through the thunderclouds. Even though they had seen the divine dragon many times, they were all still awestruck. Such a sight of the divine dragon soaring appeared above Qin City. Everyone could see it. Countless people marveled at the sight, because the monster problem had already been resolved. Many people had returned to Qin City. They didn't expect to see the divine dragon manifest as soon as they returned. At once, everyone successively knelt and bowed, thanking the divine dragon for protecting Xianxia and protecting them. Slowly, the thunderclouds dispersed. The divine dragon's full appearance appeared before everyone's eyes for the first time. After clearly seeing its full appearance, countless people fearfully lowered their heads. Their heartbeats quickened. Just one glance, they felt the terrifying pressure. There was also suppression from the bloodline. They dared not look directly. Some people tried to forcibly take photos with their phones, but their phones suddenly exploded. How could a divine dragon be detoxified by a mortal to be casually photographed? At this moment, they truly realized the divine dragon's might, a supreme existence that cannot be directly observed or profaned. Chen King looked down from above at the insignificant humans, withdrawing its dragon's might. Its body slowly shrunk and returned to the zoo. Congratulations, Lord Divine Dragon, on your successful transformation. Lai Kang and the others stepped forward to congratulate it. King Chen slightly, it nodded slightly, saying its strength had greatly increased. This drop of fresh blood can allow you to develop better serums. Chen King extracted a drop of fresh blood, suspending it before Lai Kang and the others. Everyone was overjoyed. They never expected Lord Divine Dragon to be so generous. They hastily thanked it. With this drop of fresh blood, they could once again develop many divine dragon serums. But Chen King's words the next second made everyone feel terrified and shocked. Numb vagina.